All right, folks, it's game one in a best of 9. I'm just here to do the quick shilling for the sponsors before I get into it. Then I'll toss out to these awesome folks that are casting with me. Just quickly to note for both you and for the audience, if you guys hear me talk, by the way, I'm giving muted to the audience. Only you guys will be able to hear me. But anyways, big thank you to the folks who made this possible. PeopleImages.com. Once again, got to give some big love to the sponsors because this isn't just one tournament where like, oh, here's a $1,000 or $7,000 tournament once off. They want to do like 3 or 4 seasons of this. So I'm hoping that we get a lot more action. I think the King of the Hill stuff is a lot of fun. I hope that this ends up being good enough for them that they'll keep doing it. So be sure to help make sure that happens, guys. We'll go to PeopleImages.com. If you're a web designer or you're making projects, trust me, this is the place you want to find your images. Not only is it going to, first off, keep it legal, which is good. Secondly, it's going to be affordable pricing. And 3, high quality. Come on, it's high quality, and that's what matters the most. That being said, Roddy, would you please take us away into the intros?
Let's do it, as we are 1 minute into Blackpink for the first match of this grand finals of this awesome StarCraft League that has been put up by PeopleImages and of course by Riff as well. I mean, Riff, you deserve a shout out too. Thank you for so much for hosting tournament after tournament after tournament. At the right top side, I'm looking at the main base of our French Protoss. Can he go back to back on base trade? It is DnS. Oh my God, Riff. I give you a shout out and this is what you do? Ruined!
Good start. Solid. This cast's gonna be great. In the bottom left here, from Korea, CJ Entis. Previously CJ Entis, this is Bunny. And this kid's been really shooting up the ranks and sort of taking names and turning a lot of heads lately, especially towards the end of this year. Really excited for what Bunny's going to show us in 2018. He's going to beat a lot of the bigger tournaments. Of course, he's a free agent right now, so plenty of opportunity for him to flex his land muscles, see what he can get done. You see he's already been doing all right in those qualifiers for GSL.
Yeah, first of all, I do really want to say we already said it to each other in between the break, but I'm really happy that all these games will be played on the Korean server. That means no hyping, no US Central, whatever. DnS is currently in Korea. Makes it great for us. We're going to get the best possible StarCraft 2 games out of these guys. They're going to have as low as a ping as you can imagine. And I'm excited, man. I mean, we all know PvT right now. We all know that it is Protoss favored. Nobody's trying to deny it. But there are a couple of Terran pushes. Of course, they're often quite all in. They're often very committed. And Terran kind of has their hands tied. But nothing is impossible, Riff. And I'm really curious to see what the Bunny is going to bring us in a best of 9. Which means this is not just a best of 3 where you have like 2 set builds or 3 set builds. No. It's a freaking best of 9. We're going to see so many cool builds out of these guys.
It's not even a best of 5 or a best of 7. It's crazy. No.
It's great. Can we make it a best of 11? Let's just do it.
let's just make it a best of 69. We're good all night.
Yeah. Till New Year's Eve. Let's go.
no New Year's Eve. No one needed a New Year's Eve plans. Cancel. Get a bottle of champagne. Come meet us at the PC. Anyway, we're going to get the starport finishing up here, and it looks like a Widowmine drop opening here for Bunny. A lot of Terrans have been doing this and then transitioning into a 2-base all-in. It's very, very popular at the moment against Protoss because they just don't seem to want to have that 3rd base against Protoss these days. They don't feel very confident in the late game.
The more time you give, right, to Protoss, the more that those Chrono Boosts will really kick in and all those next side, the more workers they get ahead further and further. I like some of those 2-base pushes a lot, man. The mine drop, if you can get a little bit of damage done, even if it's lost mining time, you follow it up with 5 racks. And what I do think is funny is, right, there are some Terrans who use a lot of Marauders in those pushes, and some Terrans get like 1-2 tanks and it's super heavy on the Marines. I really prefer the Marine pushes. I think they're way more powerful. I think the more Marauders you make, the more those Zealots will tank.
And that first medevac leaving with 3 medevacs in tow, but the Oracle just saw it. Coming in for some SCV damage as well, getting one on just a couple of SCVs producing those 2 barracks, so further delaying those and getting worker damage. This Oracle is putting in work, Roddy.
Yep, this is one of those underrated Oracles. Like, nobody goes Oracles anymore because they're not that good, apparently. Well, 7 kills. That is what Protoss dreams are made of. And it's safe to say that this mine drop that's about to unload in the natural of DnS needs to do some very serious work here.
DnS reacts immediately, though, gets one of the Widowmines for it, burrows, and SCV takes one for the team, and of course this is new patch Widowmine, that means it is detected.
Oh, sorry, Maynard, that's a slow weapon!
Yep. It is, but he doesn't take too much damage at all. Yeah, it hits the Stalker, so the probe line actually doesn't take much damage. I think DnS just killed one of his own probes, but other than that, he did a pretty sick defense there, only losing 3 probes, 3 Widowmine, and he's going to get the medevac as well with that Phoenix. Aggressively warping in already.
It's obviously a really good start for DNS because of the Oracle, but I really think that Bunny should have gone for a Stalker there. Like, you can choose between one probe and a Stalker. You always go for the Stalker. Like, I understand killing workers is nice, but one probe versus one Stalker, you want to get the Stalker for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Double Oracle in the main as well. You got to worry about this as Terran. He's got that one turret, so the mineral line is mostly safe. Of course, the gases are a little bit vulnerable, and he's just locked things down on 2 bases. I mean, DNS has an aggressive pylon put up here. Yeah, he's slow warping in on it, but it is still something that he has to worry about. Stasis ward's also being taken on the high ground here for DNS. Bunny going for a big drop, but there's a lot of stalkers here.
Well, Medevac will survive at least. If he loses a Medevac with 8 units inside of it, that would have been pretty much GG, as Bunny doesn't have much else to work with. Fortunately for us and for Bunny, that does not happen. Bunny is very, very heavy on the Marines. Once again, I like that. I really prefer that type of a follow-up over the heavy Marauder style. But that doesn't change the fact that this game has gone quite dramatic. DNS doesn't have to be aggressive here. I don't really know why he's so eager to be aggressive. He doesn't have to be aggressive.
Maybe just trying to shave off whatever he can here. I feel like with Blink and upgrades, it's a little bit easier. He doesn't want to lose Stalkers every time he pokes up that ramp, but so far so good. Bunny going for this big drop. Looks like 15 Marines in tow. They are going to have Stim by the time they drop off here, which is going to be nice, and +1 attack as well. So these Marines are going to be doing a lot of damage.
Yep, maybe a recall. I mean, DNS is running home. He might be sort of home in time, but all of his units are out of position. And with a big drop, Bunny can absolutely be back in this game. Bunny is going to make his way into the main. DNS knows about it right now. Let's see what he decides to do against it.
One of the medevacs is sort of on the edge of the terrain there, so it's not unloading just yet. But Bunny is unloading this payload of Marines here, going straight for that pylon, which is powering quite a lot. But no huge damage being taken here.
No, could have been a lot worse, but now the units are out of position. 2 more medevacs flying towards the south side of this third base. That is very, very, very exposed. Bunny, if you want to be back in this game, this is your moment. You're going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, we're seeing the power of the mobility of pure bio here from Bunny. No factory units just yet apart from Widow Mines, and he takes out 18 probes. That's a mineral line and change there for Bunny. Tons of damage to the economy of DNS, which funnily enough, because he is on 3 Nexus, not that far off the Terrans, but that said, he is taking more and more probe damage as time goes on.
Yeah, Blink, maybe one medevac will finally go down here, but that doesn't change the fact that Bunny has already done a tremendous amount of damage, and even the Oracle got picked up there. It's nice. Yeah,
it's an expensive unit, so nice little pickoffs there for Bunny, even though he knows his units are going to go down, trying to be as efficient as possible. We're seeing Bunny shoot ahead in army supply here. As he continues his pressure, he's just not putting his foot off the gas pedal here. More and more probes going to go down. Oh my god, tons of probes going down in the main base.
That is ridiculous. 45 workers have gone down, I would say, in the last 70 or 80 seconds of this game. Absolutely amazing arrest by Bunny. DNS being out of position because he tried to be aggressive. He does get the medevac on the south side and almost gets the second one. So even though, I mean, Bunny has done an insane amount of damage, but right now, Bunny, you can chill. Just wait for a moment, build up some units, and don't die to a counterattack of Stalkers.
Yeah, that's what it's all about now. Take that third, saturate it, sit on that economy advantage, and shoot ahead into the later part of the game here. Counterattack, like you mentioned, Roddy, the most threatening thing for Bunny right now. DNS has a decent and mobile army that's very, very good at poking in and taking out important units, like picking off Liberators, picking off Medevacs. But DNS is resting on his laurels here. He's chilling on that third Nexus.
The main base of DNS looks so sad. If you're 9 minutes into the game and you've got 4 probes in your main and there is nothing else, that's a very sad looking main.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't lose the Forge. Those upgrades are still spinning. The +2 attack is not too far away. Just the one, yeah. A little bit weird. Normally it's double Forge for Protoss against Terran.
This is a gnarly push with a lot of mines as well. You can't really blink into this. This Nexus is going to take a lot of damage. A couple of Stalkers get picked up immediately. Is he going to blink forward? No, he's not.
The Widow Mines still haven't shot off their charges yet, so it's still a little bit threatening for DNS, and he has used Blink now. Oh, okay, there we go. Nice. Oh, that actually killed a lot of Bunny's units.
Yeah, that was really well done by DNS, and he actually keeps the Nexus alive. That's a good connection on that one mine. Couple sentries go down, one more sentry goes down. Liberator's in the natural though, and there is a Liberator in the main as well. More probes are going to go down for DNS.
Yeah, these probes are trying to hug that Nexus, but you can't close your eyes and hide under a blanket against the Liberator. It's just going to kill you anyway. It does 12 more probe damage. Dude, this is like a 12... This is a probe genocide here from Bunny. He's killed so many probes in this game.
57 already. 57 in a 10-minute game while he had a terrible start. Oh, no!
Oh, God, sorry. Go on, Roddy. I just had to, you know, nearly had a heart attack right there as those medevacs flew over some stalkers.
I nearly had a different feeling in my mind.
Yeah, as a Protoss player, the blood rushes elsewhere. I understand.
All right, 3 medevacs heading towards the main base of DNS. He's gonna empower a few more gateways. I think this is gonna be well, DNS blinks forward at the south side, gets the liberator. He's chasing down his army, but I think DNS is saying right now, I've had enough. I'm gonna lose even more workers. I don't care. I'm gonna try to win the game with these stalkers. But I don't think he can go up to the natural, even though there are not that many units at the moment.
Yeah, he's got all the SCVs here to buffer for these stalkers, actually. And SCVs against stalkers are pretty damn good, especially with their worst rate of fire. But you know what? Blink, not too bad either. A lot of these SCVs go down, but Bunny, with that counter damage, doing way too much to DNS. GG's. He takes a 1-game advantage of the series. Great start, man.
And let's not forget how this game started, Maynard. He lost 7 SCVs to that Oracle, and then that first mine drop actually didn't do all that much. The reaction was good by DNS. I really think that DNS made this game too complicated for himself by trying to be aggressive in a moment where he really didn't have to be. Just stay at home, make defending easier for yourself. You know, get some observers out, position yourself well, because the ball was in Bunny's corner to do damage. And instead, DNS was trying to do even more. And I think what you said was perfectly accurate, where he's like, he's just trying to get a free unit here, a free unit there. I mean, that's good and all, but I really felt that opened the opportunity for Bunny to do something on the other side of the map because his units were out of position. Like, it was good what he tried to do, but it was very unnecessary. And I think he should have kept the game simpler for himself.
Oh, I mean, you mentioned it in the cast, and I completely agree with you that it is actually, you know, good for the Protoss to make the game go a little bit longer with, you know, so you get your double forges, you get those upgrades chrono boosted, you get your probe count up, 3rd Nexus, and you just shoot into the mid and late game with an advantage, which your macro mechanic gives you with chrono boosts, etc., etc. And it's up to the Terran to stop that from happening, like to keep those drops going. And if you don't have units at home to stop the Terran from stopping that from happening, then, I mean, well, shit, you're just going to lose 56 probes in a 10-minute game.
And it snowballs so crazy, right? Like, if you're out of position for the first drop, by the time that you're finally in position to deal with that drop, that's when the next drop starts up, and then it keeps going. And, like, you know, players like Bunny, they're so freaking fast. They will not stop. It's pedal to the metal, drop, 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 drop. And it feels like you're chasing something that's just too fast. While everything changes if you're in position for the first drop, because then you've got those extra seconds, that extra economy to, you know, get ready for drop number 3, get ready for drop number 4. DNS didn't have to be aggressive on the other side of the map, but I want to give all props to Bunny for, even though he saw that army, it's knocking on his front door, he's like, I need to do something or this game is going to be unwinnable. He loads up 2 medevacs, almost loses them, still goes for it, and just takes the game back from there on. A really sick play.
All right, well, guys,
yeah, it's just...
I got to cut you off here because we got to get going with the game. Players are ready, so it's Neon Violet Square. I hate cutting into the passion. I feels guilty, but we'll see you guys here on the map for game number 2.
G'day guys, welcome back. PeopleImages Grand Final is continuing. And currently 1 down in the series in the top left here. It is the French Protoss playing in Korea, DNS.
And on the right bottom side of Neon Violet Square, we're looking at the main base of a Korean badass, and not just in StarCraft, but this guy, like, I feel like we in the foreign scene don't know him that well yet, but I truly hope we can get to know him a little bit better, because this guy is a character, believe me, guys. He really is. It is Bunny.
Bunny.
He's so cool. You know him, mate. You know him a little bit outside of StarCraft. This guy is a legit badass.
I have been outside of hours with Bunny, or rather in his presence, not sort of with him, but around him and just sort of observing him. And yeah, he's a character. He's going to have a huge foreign fan base if he manages to do well in some of these big international tournaments like the IEMs and, you know, the WCS, or not the WCS, but, you know, the GSLs.
I'm sure he's very, very pumped. Oh, I mean, WCS could be like GSL versus the world, right? We have those.
Oh, yeah, true. Yep.
We got a couple of international. I mean, the events were announced already for 2018, but I hope we can get to see Bunny again at Katowice. Because with the way that he's currently playing, I mean, even if Terran gets like a little buff by then, which we all expect to happen eventually, right? We're just kind of figuring out how to do it. if Bunny keeps this up, man, he's going to be a real force to be reckoned with. He could be very well the Alive of last year, right? I think Alive last year blew us away at Katowice with that semifinals performance. I think Bunny is capable of something along those lines as well.
Yeah, Alive was definitely the hot Terran back then. In fact, I remember us, one of my favorite casts that year was at that tournament where you and I cast him versus Innovation. That was a sick series.
Yeah, the Abyssal Reef game. I mean, people often talk, you know, we're getting close to the end of the year. People always talk about favorite games of the year. And it's hard, man, because we saw a lot of really good games. And some games, because they were like in the round of 32, they didn't get that much attention. But that Alive versus Innovation game, I mean, that was Godspeed. That was so fast, you know. I was like, oh my god, the Observer can't keep up. We can't keep up. How are they doing this?
Yeah, I think it was like a clip or something of me saying that I think Alive has like 7 screens. It doesn't make sense otherwise, the amount of stuff that's going on. But anyway, we are starting to see things shape up a little bit in this early stages of the PvT, which is pretty standard. It looks like, you know, reactive factory play, a fast 1-1-1 from Bunny with an expansion.
Probably Hellions, right, May? I think Hellions here. I feel, I swear to God, ever since that clip of Innovation made it to Reddit, where like the Reaper pulled away the Stalkers, every Terran above 4700 MMR has been trying the same move, you know? Okay, it's not Hellions actually, it's a Widowmine, but it's so funny. It's always a Reaper here, and it's like, really? Like, you think I'm just gonna follow the Reaper? Like, come on, man. No, it's so cool. When something happens, like one of these top guys, the next day on ladder, you're gonna face it like multiple times. And it always makes me smile a little bit.
Yeah, the Korean Terrans are sort of, I mean, the Korean players in generally, you know, their play will trickle down to the lower leagues. Like, for instance, like I was watching Bjorn stream a fair bit today, and I saw him basically kill a Protoss with 1 medevac and 2 Cyclones, and I thought, I can make a medevac and load 2 Cyclones and do that on ladder, and then I just instantly lose the 2 Stalkers. I'm like, well, shit.
The small difference is that Bjorn often plays against people that are not exactly on his level. So, you know, like, if you have Bjorn's micro, you can pull a lot of things off against, you know, with all due respect, lower ranked.
Well, this time it was actually GM Korean ladder, not his lower ranked account. But
I mean, but even that, you know, like even Bjorn, like Bjorn could be like 6.8, 6.9k MMR if he's in shape. Like Korean GM sounds impressive to people, and of course, you know, you need to be a good player. But the bottom of Korean GM is light years away from a guy like
that is true.
You know, like that is just crazy. So those guys can do anything. Anyway, let's focus a little bit on the game.
Yeah, it's getting aggressive.
Yeah, Bunny is flying a medevac towards the main base of DnS. As DnS is actually trying to be quite aggressive here with some good old 3 gateway robo, no Twilight, no Blink. Doesn't have anything to deal with the mines though.
Ooh, could deny this bunker. No, the bunker does finish, but he doesn't really have units to chuck in it anyway. He only has the 1 Marine. There's those Marines, the rest of them here in the main base coming on down. If they can get to the bunker, they can do nice work. Those mines get 9 probes.
I don't like this for DnS at all. Again, DnS is being so aggressive. He left his main base open. I mean, he is going to pick up the mines probably eventually, but losing 9 probes, that's a lot of workers.
Yeah, there's a bit of mining time to use those probes to try and wrap around that mine as well. And he's trying to get this done. Once again, he does not have Blink. He's using the Prism to try and control his Stalkers a little bit here. Maybe get the medevac. Oh, not even the medevac. It boosts away. And yeah, Bunny takes a great trade. And he has a siege tank now, so he is looking super safe.
Did you see that mine in the middle of the map? It's so adorable. No, don't die. This mine really deserves to make it home.
He'll make it. Yeah, that's right.
He's got 5 kills, and there was a probe with a little bit of gas chasing him all the way to the middle, like through the squares and stuff. It was adorable.
Right. How often do you see on current patch a Widowmine get damage done and live to tell the tale?
Oh, the
that Viking getting a little bit low. The Viking may get... Nah, he unloads the Stalkers.
He could maybe... I would have been the sickest play ever if he would have unloaded the Stalkers on the left side, killed the Viking, and saved the Stalkers from the main. He doesn't do that, but once again, Maynard, that main base right now is quite exposed because DnS has been so aggressive. He doesn't have map vision on the right side of his main. If he ends up losing 5, 6, 7 probes here again, it's gonna become an ugly game.
Well, he doesn't have any units here, no shield batteries, no cannons, so this marine payload is gonna at least force the probes off the mineral line of the main base here, and he's going for it. A couple of probes already going down, Stalkers are coming in now, they're looking for that medevac kill. Still no Blink.
Oh, I mean, the Bunny's just gonna sacrifice it, and he's gonna kill. I like the decision actually. He got okay, and he gets 8 probes in total. You know, man, I think DNS is absolutely fantastic. Oh my god, the natural as well, another...
Yeah.
I feel like DNS is making this harder on himself than it has to be.
Uh-oh. I mean, he even saves a few of his units here, but getting 15 probes, it looked like DNS was maybe looking elsewhere or something. He just wasn't really controlling those workers against or pulling them away from those Marines. Took a lot of damage there. The Widowmine at least didn't do too much, but the Marines just target-fired and shift-queued. So many probes dead. DNS's plan is... I was going to say, DNS's plan here is pretty clear, just to try and get the Colossus count up and get those upgrades up, but... Once again, it's single forge by the looks of things, and Bunny is just going to get aggressive once more. This prism! Oh!
You know what's the worst thing about all those drops doing a lot of damage? DNS doesn't get the kill on the medevacs, and that makes it very painful. That means that the medevac count is going to snowball a lot faster. Bunny can keep dropping, and Bunny could potentially go into Liberators a little bit faster as well if he wants to. The medevacs are the most expensive unit of that drop. He doesn't get the kill. I really think, I mean, this game is not over yet, but I'm very, 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 very worried for DNS that he might not actually be able to defend this push. And I think in the upcoming games, DNS is going to have to chill a lot more. As Todd would say, take a chill pill and just defend. Like Protoss is magnificent right now in this matchup in defending. As another drop is heading towards the main.
Oh, no! Stacking the probes against that Widowmine, a massive mistake there for DNS, but he does get rid of the tanks and does push the majority of Bunny's forces out of here. But without Blink and that sort of thing, it is tougher and tougher to stop these drops as they start to go on, and Bunny continues this drop play. Without Blink, how do you stop this? You need some static defense, you need units to just sit there.
Yeah, you can. I mean, this is where these Korean Terrans truly shine, where they can just out-multitask you, where they can go from one base to the next to the next. If you can't kill these medevacs, things only get worse. Look at the focus fire. Gets the Stalker, gets the Sentry. New push is arriving in the natural, and that is a very naked Colossus.
Oh, that's terrible. Gets a bunch of sentries there, gets probe kills, and just pulls out as soon as the Colossus shows up. That Widowmine is even still there for effect. Bunny shooting ahead in army supply. He's up 40 now. And he is just looking like he's going to use this advantage, going to reinforce it with a bunch of medevacs here, just fatten this push up and just try and go for the win.
And once again, I really feel this all starts with DNS's opening. DNS goes for a 1-gate fast expand, then 3-gateway prism pressure. I'm not saying it's bad, but on a large map like Neon Violet Square, I'd say why not use the real strength of Protoss right now? Get those upgrades, just defend, as we've got a drop on top of the Colossus as well. This is perhaps almost a little bit over-eager, but there is so much Terran that I think it's going to be more than enough.
Yeah, DNS trying his heart out there with the Prism, but he only has room for one Colossus at a time, and he does lose to that heavy, heavy Marauder count of Bunny, which was upgraded, by the way. So,
I mean, just to finish my thought real quick, mate, I really feel that DNS is just like he's being too aggressive. Like Protoss right now shines in this matchup. The reason why, Protoss has all the tools to defend almost any sort of Terran opening, and if you defend, you get ahead economically. You get more workers out, you get more upgrades out, you get more bases, and you get map vision. Instead, if you start being aggressive, I'm not saying it can work, and it's really good to switch it up, of course, but if you be aggressive, you open yourself up to take a lot of damage at home, and that's what keeps happening over and over again to DNS in the previous game and this game. I don't think he has to be that aggressive. Enjoy your economic advantage of chrono boost, of upgrades, and just try to defend with Blink Stalkers, because Bunny is going to attack you anyway. You know it's going to happen. So why not set yourself up to deal with that aggression rather than trying to be aggressive yourself and getting these weird, scrappy, super multitasking, intense games? Like, I don't think he has to do that.
Yeah, well, hopefully DNS makes some adjustments and maybe, like Todd says, like you said, take a little bit of a chill pill and just be defensive. Get double forges.
Chill pill.
Good impersonation. It's almost like Todd was in my ear just now.
All right, guys, we got to go to a quick break while we set up for the third game. It's going to be on Odyssey when we get back. If you're just tuning in, it is 2-0 in the favor of Bunny. And big thank you to Diesel Max Power just now, 2,500 bits. Big love to you, man. Thank you for that support. We'll see you guys here in a few. All right, folks, I'm back. Gonna rock this cast with Maynard for a couple games, give Roddy a bit of a breather as we hop into game number 3. If you're just tuning in, maybe you're watching from the front page of Twitch, or you just woke up, either way, you're tuned in for a best of 9. 3 games in, to the top left, he's won the first 2 so far. We'll see if he can keep it up. It's the Red Terran, Bunny.
Certainly is well spotted in the bottom right here. I think I can see, and this is the French Protoss DnS.
It's surprising that the score is where it is, but kind of agree with Roddy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the ways DnS is playing right now, like he's overall an aggressive player. We see this in PvZ all the time, right? Sends those first 2 adepts out right away. The stalkers in this. Maybe if it does just play a bit safer, it'll go better for him, because Bunny's the one who's being aggressive, and he's got no fear doing this either.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mentioned it during the first couple of games, or even the first game when I was casting with Roddy. It's up to the Terran in the climate of this matchup right now. It is up to the Terran to stop the Protoss from spiraling out of control. If the Protoss is throwing his units at the Terran aggressively, well, I mean, he can actually put himself behind when normally you expect the Protoss to be up, 10, 15 probes up a Nexus, or up a base, I should say, against a Terran player. With Chrono Boost, usually sitting on double forges, getting a big upgraded army. That's generally what Protoss is like to do in this matchup. But if you get aggressive, yes, you can end the game immediately. Also, if you're up against a player who's really good at defending and scouting, you can put yourself behind, which is DnS has been doing a little bit in the first couple games.
Well, Probe was being a little annoying. Doesn't end up denying the command center for too long. Bunny actually gets us on location. I do want to take a quick moment, though, to talk about the prize pool, guys, because we are now, thanks to all those who've been using the codes and getting involved in Match Arena, we are officially over $7,200 for the prize pool of this tournament. This is something that started with the initial investment of $5,000, and we've raised it to $7,200. Now, that's cool, and that's worth, like, a pat on your back. But this also affects first place and second place prize quite a bit, because they get the biggest portion of the prize pool. First place at the time of this game going down, at the time of this playing out, is $2,942. That's what these 2 players are competing for. Second place, which is no small amount itself, but significantly less, $1,381. So more than $1,000 between first and second place, and a lot of money for these guys to win, whoever locks down this best of 9.
That's folding money right there. One of the 3 casters in this tournament, if they had that kind of money, it would be going on black. I'm not going to say which one, but maybe one of us.
I like to imagine Bunny wins the money, takes it, goes to the food bank, and buys food for all the other poor Terran who can't seem to win anything right now.
No,
that shows up at Innovation's house. He's got a bowl of ramen for him.
The thing with, I feel like Bunny, unfortunately, that's a very wholesome meme you're rocking there, Rifkin, but unfortunately, the Bunny that I know would actually take that money and do probably exactly what one of these 3 procasters would do. hit the tables. The cheeky spin.
Hookers.
Yeah, that's the Bunny I know and love.
Well, Bunny has changed things up. We've seen Widow Mines after Widow Mines after Widow Mines, and DnS go for Blink is a very safe way to play, but I don't know if he's ready for Cyclones to be hitting him in the face. Cyclones tear stalkers apart in low numbers.
They certainly do, especially when there's no shield battery or sentries to be seen, and that's very, very tough to defend with just Stalkers against this kind of push. Yes, there's only a couple Cyclones, but there are 2 more from Bunny looking to be on the way, and he is desperately trying to get a shield battery out, but Bunny's just like, hello, front door's open, what do you got in your fridge? Let's have a look, I'm a terrible guest. He's just tearing the things up inside of his house.
Shoes up, no coasters? Man, this guy's the worst. But
yeah,
shield batteries...
Takes his shirt off, takes his pants off, throws them on the ground.
Oh man, DnS, whether this is like to the fault of Bunny or to the excellence of DnS, he has kept all these stalkers alive. Pulling them back in the red, barely getting out of there alive, and as we see, Cyclone damage was so quick that you have to get out of there immediately. You don't have time to dick around. So this ends up going pretty well, considering this was everything to give away for like what was a pylon and a shield battery. That's what Bunny got out of this. Literally no units killed.
So this is where you would normally see a Protoss go, all right, time to chill, go back home. Because there's a bunch of Blink Stalkers against, yes, they have Blink, but they are against several Cyclones here, with more and more Cyclones being made by Bunny. In fact, Bunny going for what looks to be the Gumiho build here, where you just mass Cyclones, get upgrades, and go for it. We're seeing another factory go down for Bunny here as well, so he's memeing a little bit. Yeah, and DnS is going to try and be aggressive against mass Cyclone.
Well, this is where Blink should win out, but so many of these stalkers are low from earlier. It's not going to be as simple as that. As we see, if they're in range for even just a second, they get torn down like immediately. But the biggest weakness to these Cyclones is the fact that they have very short range. So it's really hard to get all of them involved in the fight. They can't stutter step like Marines do because their damage is so low. It is something that's a little bit difficult, but when they get to actually streamline and attack, oh boy, does it melt.
Yeah, speaking of which, one of those Stalkers evaporates to the DPS of that Cyclone there, and Bunny is starting to throw in tanks, which are also great against Stalkers, even with Blink.
Ooh.
They do such a great job. Double armory going down, so we are seeing mech TVP here from Bunny. And normally, you know, back in the day, you would go, oh my god, this is the craziest thing in the whole world, hit Reddit. But this is actually something that Terran's been doing against Protoss here and there. Hold that thought, we got DnS shaving off another Cyclone with his Stalkers. And that pylon needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, but it'll be taken care of. In fact, moves as we speak. I like that he's been scanning pretty frequently too, looking for observers. A very annoying thing to have to deal with, but the tank doesn't go down, so that blink ends up being very dangerous for DnS. Back on the other side of the field though, because we watched a lot of Bunny's base, right? DnS did get a third base up. He's got a charge, and like, I like how bad. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just about to say that this is what I wanted from DnS. Like, just double forge, third nexus. He's got sentries back at home. I mean, actually, unfortunately, these Hellions look like they're going to get some probe damage done, but otherwise, DnS is looking really, really solid back at home.
Yeah, well, I was going to be at this point too. Like, the upgrades are fantastic, and right along those lines, the charge being with it. Hellbats, they look like a good option to deal with Zealots, but more often than not, even with Blue Flame, they don't get the job done in time. So it's not like watching Hellions take on Hydralisks. Zealots can take those hits, they charge in, they're just mineral based. If they get on top of the tanks, they get on top of the Cyclones, they can wreak havoc on a Terran mech army. That is a pretty big if. DnS still can't just like A-move once he gets this upgrade done. He's still gonna have to keep up the finesse and the grace that he's been showing with these Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, and it's up to Bunny to round out this composition correctly. Mech can work against Protoss, but you need to have, you know, depending on how many charge lots, how many Stalkers you see, or rather how many robotic units there are going to be, like, do I need more tanks? Do I need more Hellions? What do I need to prioritize production for here? And it looks like Hellions are on the game plan here for Bunny as far as composition goes. Got another reactor, got another factory going down. Hellions looking for a spot in the main, but a nice warp in there from DnS, blocking that Hellion from getting into the main mineral line. Should be able to take off that Hellion without taking too much damage.
It's a shame Blue Flame's not done, but it's also good for DnS that it's not. You know, I just finished talking about charge lots too, but now we got the Immortals being produced. Like this is DnS making everything he needs to shut down a mech army. The problem is though, like I said, positioning and control is going to be key. Yes, Immortals break tanks, but not if they can't reach them because they're up on a high ground cliff or because they're hidden well behind Hellbats. Like there's going to be a lot of control necessary from DnS.
Now, this is where these Blink Stalkers are really shining here. They're doing tons of damage, but Bunny's ready for them to blink back.
Yeah, catches them on
and
the blink
them pay
out.
for their crimes.
Oh, that was really... It cost them 8 SCVs, but that was a clever way to clean up a lot of Stalkers. Very expensive here for DnS.
Yeah, 8 Stalkers going down for 8 SCVs, not the best. I mean, maybe it was more like 6, but still a lot of Stalkers going down for 8 SCVs, not the greatest of trades. Bunny's work account, obviously a fair bit down on the Protosses, which is not uncommon in this matchup, but I'm picking up another observer here. He's doing a good job of this.
Yo, actually, it's interesting about the worker count specifically because we're seeing a little bit of back and forth. Like every time he mules, it spikes back in Bunny's favor. But now with the gold base being set up for DnS, his income should dominate Bunny's.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Bunny is going to go for a 4th base as well, but when you're a mech player, you need to have everything tight and wrapped up in your safety blankie. So that 4th CC is not going to float to the goal. That's going to go just down to the south here of the natural. And Bunny is just running on these forces, getting lots more tanks. 2-2 is on the way, but 2-2 is actually not too far away from finishing for the Protoss. So this is a scary moment for the Terran. It's time to get everything defensive and in the right location. Because, like Rifkin mentioned, it's a lot of Immortals here, and yes, they do shred tank lines, and tank lines exactly what he's looking for.
There's going to be a degree of Hellbat buffer, but it's to their detriment. Hellbats are classified as biological units, so they're going to take a lot of damage from these Archons. How much damage plus 1? 39. Plus splash, of course. So when it comes down to like the close-range splash attacks, Blue Flame might wish it was an Archon, but the real Blue Flame is everything that comes out of the Archon. That's going to tear apart those Hellbats, and if those go down, the tank line's soon to follow. But like I said, for Bunny, his greatest advantage is going to be positioning and making sure that he's in position for this fight, not caught unsieged, not caught awkwardly in the middle of the ramp with half his Hellbats behind him. Like, he has to control this very well, and he sees the army moving out now with these Hellions. Yeah,
he also sees DnS just breaking off a few Zealots here, probably looking for Bunny's forces to try and see if he can catch him out of position. I think that Hellion did see that War Prism, but he's actually moving out to meet the Protoss here. This is pretty interesting. Normally you don't see the mech player move out like this, but Bunny's going for it. Meanwhile, this planetary should be fine against a bunch of charge lots, but I'm a little bit more worried about the natural in production. Yeah, the natural.
Well, takes care of the War Prism very least. He is going to go for that big push.
Yeah, he's going for that push. Has a bit of a leap break of tanks. DnS does pull back.
I'm like sitting here in awe. Just the sheer amount of tanks in unsieged mode chasing down that army kind of helped out a bit. But DnS backing away, not necessarily because he was scared, because he knew he couldn't take a fight out in the open against those siege tanks.
This tank position, Rifkin, this is actually incredibly bad for DnS. If he can't get right into the center of this tank ball, they are just going to shred everything on the ground. Immortals be damned. That high ground, you just aren't in range of these tanks. And Bunny takes an incredible engagement. DnS trying to remake 12 charge lots here, and that can absolutely make the difference. Oh, look, especially if they're unsieged.
I love that Bunny didn't siege all of his tanks too, because he was worried about them getting on top of this. But I also got to point out too, he was focus firing those tanks. You don't see that a lot. Normally they end up wasting shots, shooting top, shooting bottom. So credit where it's due, but DnS positioning, I think, ultimately killed him more than anything else. And now, of course, the base here gets shut down. Natural getting kind of corrupted as we speak. Those zealots come in, but they got to stay away from the tanks. He's going to come in for two sides once again. We'll see if that focus fire comes into play or not.
Well, the Immortals on the right are starting to get a few tanks here before they go down. Nope, never mind. They only get the two, and Bunny just has too many tanks. What an incredible win there for Bunny to mech against a high-level Protoss like that. And, I mean, not to mention that he mech'd in that match, but he also took a lot of damage in the early stages from, you know, the Stalker harassment of DnS, and DnS was doing the right thing. He was getting his double forges, he was getting his upgrades. But then, you know, if you're chilling and you're not reacting to the mech correctly, and you let the tanks get into that position, all of a sudden you're kind of dead. So we saw that from DnS.
I don't know if it's related, but I just love we come out of a game and Roddy's sitting there like furrowed brows, like rubbing his like, oh my god, Protoss, like, oh my god. Actually, Roddy, question for you, because it's not really a common thing. What are your thoughts about mech versus Protoss?
I think it can be very powerful, as we just saw, but I think it's all about how the Protoss decides to deal with it, right? Like, I think doing it on Odyssey was the right call. If he would do it on Neon Violet, it wouldn't really work. There's too much room for DnS to outmaneuver that army. I really like the way that Bunny played it. I like DNS's playstyle a lot more this game, but what I would like to see is, instead of like waiting until the mech army is that strong and that powerful and then try to fight it, try to like break it down a little sooner, you know, just throw away some zealots. Even if you get bad fights, as a Protoss, you can just expand like crazy on your side of the map and just keep throwing units. Even if it's like 6 zealots for a tank, you can do that multiple times. And I think that he was being very active with the Stalkers, but I would have loved to see more commitment. As soon as he's on like 2-2 upgrades, just start trading like a madman. I think then it would have turned out a lot better for DnS. Because the first time they fought, I mean, you guys said it, that was an insane amount of tanks. And yes, Protoss can deal with mech, but if it's that many tanks, then in general, I think you kind of need carriers and stuff.
And not to mention where those tanks were positioned as well, like that high ground where, you know, it was tough to actually get the concave. And while you're trying to get that flank, the tanks are already damaging all your stuff. Yeah. And DnS, to his credit, was trying to hit a timing with 2-2, but for some reason, Bunny was just all over it. Like, he had an upgrade disadvantage. But
I don't think you need to hit a timing with Immortals and Archons. I think you can like already like just gateway units with 2-2 upgrades can do very well against a mech, unless mech reaches like 160, 170, 180 supply. But it's not easy to get there. So I would say just try to break that army down a little sooner. And even if you take sort of quote unquote bad trades, you have so much more money on your side of the map. You deny the fort base. That's eventually going to be good for you, and it gives you so much extra time. And then later, if you want to get Immortals and Archons, you fight with that. But I don't think you have to. The first big fight doesn't need to be with all the Archons and Immortals. I think you can break that army down before it. And I would have liked to see that. But I mean, Bunny played it really well, though. Like the Cyclone move and trapping the Stalkers, that was just really cute stuff.
Well, guys, we're going to get one more game of me and Maynard. They'll get Roddy back on the cast. Either finish this up or not. We hope DnS starts bringing this back at least. Either way, we're getting into Catalyst now, so we'll see you guys in the map. All right, folks, we're back, and This is still a bit of a rough series for this guy. Spawning to the top left, still no points on the board. It's going to be the French Protoss living in Korea. It's DnS.
It certainly is. Dominating the series at the moment, though, in the bottom right of Catalyst, this is Bunny.
Also, I know you heard that sexy sound just now, Maynard. Castiana, thank you for the 20 bucks. Is a wild Roddy appears? Question mark. Yeah, and also just so everyone is fully aware, same with deal as always, you know, with Roddy and Maynard here, we're splitting tips. So if you guys got donations, you got bits, you got cheers, spreading that love around. But if you do want to give money to the players, do it through the Matcherino. So to be perfectly clear, Matcherino equals players, anything else equals casters. But we just want to make sure that everyone has a good time today. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Things are getting shook up a little bit though, Maynard.
Oh, they are indeed. DnS proxying a pylon down here. Gonna try and put the aggressive pants on one leg at a time. Let's see what he can get done here. He's put a point on the board. I mean, he's already down several maps.
It's a okay.
Gateway? Okay. I mean, it is a pretty quick proxy, and there is no cybercore, so you wouldn't expect a Stargate. That's, yeah, interesting. Okay. So maybe just a big Stalker warp in? It's going to have fast warp in when warp gate finishes, I suppose, but feels like it takes a long time to do that.
If he pairs this up with like aggressive shield batteries, we've actually seen moves like that on this map specifically, but he's pulling the probe back home, so it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. If this is just like really fast Stalker warp-ins, you'll hit a timing where the command center is probably not done, but even then, if it is finished, and if he is turning into an orbital and all that, Bunny can always just pick up and go back to the main. So I'm not sure just how effective this will be, being gateways. Either way, he's going to chrono out that first Stalker, and this will actually intercept that SCV. This should be able to stall out the command center. Oh, big scout out of Bunny too. Scouts the main, sees only one pylon. That's the biggest red flag when scouting a Protoss.
Yeah, and even if the SCV comes into the natural and sees his pylon sort of like only just finishing after his SCV has come in, that's past 20 supply. He knows that that's not, you know, that's not his second pylon. That's his third pylon. DnS is coming in here, and now he knows, hello, Stalker, what's up? Trying to get that bunker up, but it does get the SCV picked off on it. There's Reaper coming back from its scout to try and help out with this Marine. Some nice micro from both players. DnS not taking the grenade hit there on that Stalker, picking off one of those Marines and continuing to harass the workers of Bunny.
Everything Bunny's doing right now is just trying to buy time for that command center to finish. Oh my god, are you serious? 71 out of 71. If he finishes the command center, he lifts it up to the main base. This is no longer a problem, but he can't finish that command center. He doesn't want to cancel it because it's so damn close. All he has to do is get an SCV just to get over there and barely touch it. Unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. The bunker's been stalled out. The Cyclone's not out in time. DnS's aggression might just be paying off here. As weird as the gateway proxy is.
It is weird, but it is effective, as we're seeing so far for DnS. And I mean, if Bunny wants to finish that CC, he needs to like pull like 8 or 10 SCVs and try and just dive on it. And at the moment, he's just trying to hold his wall. DnS going for the kill here. The depot does go down. Bunny is supply blocked. He's got a depot halfway done back in the main. Pulling the SCVs here. This Cyclone's going to be incredibly critical.
High ground vision's going to absolutely kill DnS's ability to push.
Dive. SCVs, get it.
Just needs to touch it.
Finishes.
Lift it. It's going to take a lot of damage before it gets back to the main, though, but high ground vision should favor Bunny.
He's got these...
Ooh, the SCVs are pre-pulled. He's so ready to repair this.
Yeah, this CC should live here for Bunny, at least for now. The Cyclone, a second Cyclone is over halfway done here for him, and more Marines coming out, so looks like Bunny may be able to stabilize here, but you see that DnS has stopped proxy Stalker production. He's just starting the warp gates, so maybe he can warp in aggressively. But with Twilight, it kind of looks like he wants to get Blink and just continue here, even though he's getting a Nexus back at home.
Yeah, big scout on the SCV coming back to the main to confirm what's going on. Because for Bunny right now, he really doesn't know. Was there a Nexus down? Is this continued like all in? Unfortunately, though, what he scouts doesn't make him feel much better, I imagine. You're like, oh, he's got a Twilight Cancel and a Nexus. Great.
Yeah. Feels bad, man. I mean, the tanks are going to help out a bit for Bunny to be able to hold the main a little bit better, but that just means that it's going to take him a little bit longer to get that natural back from the Protoss. And DnS is more than happy for Bunny to chill on one base with his second Nexus, mining all those juicy minerals back at home for him.
And the worst part, too, is you're going to be muling the main twice as hard. Like, you're going to mine out of this main base by the time you take your natural, and that's going to feel bad. Although I guess maybe not with the new mineral increase, but still, same problem.
I feel like muling when you're on one base is actually a mistake. Like it's going to make those mineral patches disappear so much quickly for you. Luckily for Bunny, DnS does not have high ground vision, so this tank shouldn't be able to get picked off. It's right on the edge here, and it is covering most of the natural ramp, but these Stalkers are still being so annoying.
Yeah, this command center is not exactly high health. I'm quite worried about this, actually. One of the Cyclones gets picked off. That's a big deal. But
it is, yeah, definitely.
With Blink not being done, there's no way to continue pushing into this. You can't just jump on top of the tank. So falling back for DNS is the right call. This is at best like a soft contain. This isn't supposed to be ending the game by denying a natural base. But man, DNS did get a very good start in this game. Economically, worker count, like everything here just favors DNS as he takes a third base behind this.
Yeah, and because he can afford it, because he has all his workers. Like both of these Nexi have been pumping out probes this entire time while he's been making Stalkers right in front of Bunny's face. He's just really large and in charge in this match so far, in this map, rather.
I don't want to whine or anything. Don't get me wrong. No balance whine in this one, guys, because Bunny is up 3-0. But this is the game that you hear about. This is the game that you see the Reddit posts, people crying like, oh, Protoss are so broken and overpowered. Like, and that's because DNS is playing this absolutely correctly. Like, he's nailed it. He's not made a lot of mistakes this time. He's still taken like 0 losses so far. Now he blinks up to the main. Like, it's so weird. This happened yesterday with Bly. Like, he goes down 3 games to a player and then plays amazingly on game 4. And that's what's happening here.
Yeah, he's doing a great job here. These Stalkers going in the main and further solidifying his worker advantage here as he takes 7 SCV damage. Oh my god, doing tons and going into the natural as well. Yes, the tank will finish off this Stalker. But number 4, 8 SCVs go down to that blink attack. Put DNS on 51 probes with 3 Nexi against Bunny, who's on 23 and 2 CCs.
Yeah, you know, if there's a third CC down right now, there's the argument to be made. Mules could actually keep Bunny afloat in this game. I don't think economically he's got a chance. So his only hope really is to turn this into an all-in with that stim timing. And unfortunately, losing any amount of units over here. This medevac's gotta be so careful. This is not something he can afford to lose. The Marines inside of it are far more valuable than any damage he could do to that probe line right now. And here we go. Rally down the bottom side. No combat shields, just stim. Army's already badly injured from the first couple Stalker tussles. Even some SCVs coming out.
DNS sees this. He knows this is coming too. DNS saw it with his observer, so he's ready for these Stalkers to start picking off those medevacs.
Grab a Cyclone, blink away. Grab a medevac, blink away. Grab that tank, blink away. Whatever his choice may be. I love that he picked up that Cyclone, though. He knew that was going to be a prime target. Oh, the fact that he has to leapfrog siege mode, unsiege mode across the map, too, this stalls out the push a lot. But there's 4 tanks, 2 more on the medevacs on the backside. He's got to unload those tanks, though. I'm not sure what he's doing. Loses 1. Oh, that medevac from earlier gets to the natural base. DNS was so focused here on the bottom side, he leaves himself vulnerable to probe damage, but oh, there's so many zealots here, Maynard. This is so bad for,
and he has charge.
Bunny. Oh, the force field's gonna keep him in range.
Bunny's push here needs to end the game, really. Like, this is, like you mentioned, the 2 base all in is his option right now. His bank is dismal. His income is dismal. He has to just do critical damage to DNS to try and, you know, make this game go longer, like maybe kill a Nexus or 2 and trade well with the army. But DNS just has charge. He's got Guardian Shield. He's got even Immortals in this as well. Stalkers, he's going to blink around, pick off these tanks, and that's going to be it for Bunny's push if these Marines don't do the rest, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. GG.
GG. That 1-1 of the Protoss army, man, with Guardian Shield combined, took almost no damage from that fight. But so much of that wasn't that fight there. That was DNS's, like, opening, leading into, like, smart decision. I mean, he didn't lose a single unit until, like, minute 5, minute 6 of the game there. Like, that was really well handled out of DNS.
Yeah, brilliant play. That's that weird gateway proxy. We were like, huh, this is interesting, but Stalkers are really good. And if you have them at the front of your opponent's natural, where before, like, as the bunker begins to build, it's pretty good for the Protoss. He's like, breaks through that natural, even stops the CC from finishing for a long time. Kills a ton of SCVs. Mwah. Bueno PvT play from DNS.
Well, guys, we're going to go to Ascension Ire for the next game. We're going to have Roddy tag back into... he's been... Like, Roddy's been intently watching these games, too. It's not just like anyone goes AFK. So I think he's pretty excited to get back in here, start talking about his boy DNS finally pulling some W's here in that last game. But we're going to go to a commercial break before we do. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're coming for the front page, we'll be back ASAP. And if you're not, and you're watching some StarCraft 2, make sure you hit the follow button if you're not already following the channel. See you guys soon. All right, folks, welcome back. We finally have a series on our hands. No longer is it super one-sided. Riff and Roddy coming at you for game number 5. Spawning here to the top left, it's going to be the Blue Terran, none other than Bunny, currently leading 3-1 in this best of 9.
but probably still life tilted after that previous game. God, this race. And on the right bottom side of Ascension to Ire, map of his home race, it is DnS. Our French Protoss.
It's funny you bring that up, by the way, because it really is. I said it during the cast, right? It's those kinds of games that send people to go to the balance wine, right? Like, ignore the fact that Bunny has 3 wins on the board. That's the game that tilts you.
No, I mean, I actually have not seen it that much like that. I've seen similar builds, but I haven't seen it that much. But it was freaking brilliant. But I think it's only super, super good against Reactor or Reaper Reactor Fast Expand, because then you have no unit, right, to protect your bunker. If this would have been a Marine opening, it's annoying, but then the bunker will finish up, and then it's a completely different game, and it's a big investment. But DnS was really hoping, it's like, all right, please go Reaper into Fast Expand on the low ground. Then I can do this, and he pulled it off, like you said, magnificently. He didn't lose anything, didn't mess up with the Stalkers, denied the SCVs from finishing up the CC. I really don't think he could have done much better.
Oh man, I just realized too, between that CC being 71 out of 71 and the 5 health hatchery from earlier, today is like a day of just denied natural bases.
Yep. I mean, it's funny as well because games completely change because of those minor hits, and StarCraft is obviously a game of skill, but sometimes having a little bit of lady luck on your side is actually quite nice.
Yeah, and I mean, early game damage is always far more lasting too. To have a 5, to have your command center deny like your 4th base, not a big deal, but your natural, that's freaking huge.
Absolutely. Now, what I would love to see from DnS on this map is just more of what he did basically in the previous game, except for the proxy. I think this is the type of game where you just defend, you get Twilight Console, exactly, you get Blink, you get Charge, you get 3 bases, you get Double Forge, and let Bunny try his luck, right? Let Bunny be the aggressor. Don't be too aggressive on his side. Picking up a Marine here and there is nice, but it's much more important to keep your mineral line safe. And Ascension to Ire is kind of a long map, and that really favors this Blink Zealot style. And there's a good chance that Bunny goes for like a drop into a massive 2-base push. If you defend the 2-base push, you're good. You're going to have massive upgrades.
We'll see if that's easier said than done, though, because the first 3 games, 2 of which did have Widowmine drops, be the biggest bane of DNS's existence, leading into, of course, the multi-prong drops. But I think part of what was missing from those games that I just referenced now, plus what we saw in the last game, upgrades. A real big deal for Protoss. You could buy that with Guardian Shield, and early on, you take huge leads against fights. So I'm hoping to see those forges again. I'm hoping to see DNS get that 1-1 going ASAP.
No, I agree with you. Of course, upgrades are everything for gateway units. I mean, try to take a fight against Bio with 1-0, and when you have 0-0 or with 1-1, it just changes everything. But even more important is just for DNS not to be aggressive without a real purpose, or only be aggressive if you actually have observers out on the map and you know what's happening. There is no need for Protoss to be the aggressor when you can just defend and already get ahead. He's getting the robo. So far, I like everything that DNS is doing. Just go up to 3 bases fast, don't take too much gas, and I really think that as long as you don't take like a devastating amount of damage from the drops, which you really don't have to, this should be his game to lose. This is a great map for that playstyle that became so popular.
Well, on that note, too, I'm hoping to see DNS maybe do a little bit. I know nobody's doing what Zest does, per se, but a little bit of what Zest does, where emphasis goes on observers. Emphasis goes on, like, map vision and map control, and that's what denies so much. Like, when you watch Zest play and you think, man, this guy looks OP, it's because he's basically got map hacks on with those observers. The new, was it surveillance mode? I wouldn't call it siege mode, but, you know, surveillance mode for the observers. Like, you get so much vision from that. You can really just line this map up with 2 in the bottom, 2 to the top, and see every drop that comes your way.
Yeah. Look the difference now, right? Okay, Medevac comes in, DNS needs to blink, DNS will blink, and he gets the Medevac with all mines inside of it. Riff, this is the difference I've been talking about. You being at home, or you being on the other side of the map, it changes everything.
He just kicked Buddy square in the nuts is exactly what happened there. That's going to sting. No damage done. More importantly, no scouting to the main, because that medevac, the Widowmine drop classically in this matchup has always been at least scouting. But now DNS, like, okay, he's going across the map with the stalkers, totally fine, because what's here to defend but like a single bunker? No stim, no +1. This is pretty bad for Bunny. Even with the units he has, I don't know that he's going to take a good fight if he commits. It's gonna stay near that bunker.
I would like to see the Marauders in the bunker, like unload the Marines, put the Marauders inside of it, right? Why not?
Get a little bit of extra range.
That would make it a little bit easier. I think everything is good for DNS, but I would like to see him start charge, you know? Poking a little bit after you kill the medevac is fine, but don't get too stuck here. Don't get too carried away in trying to really do too much. Every damage you can do is nice, but don't forget charge. Charge is very important.
It's interesting.
Charge a lot.
through this, he only got one SCV kill. I thought there was a lot more surgery going on there, but I guess not. So bunker holds, one SCV dies. These stalkers, they don't see the medevacs moving out. That would have been a nice pick off.
I mean, that would have been a GG pick-off. But once again, this is the one way that DNS can throw away the lead that he has. He could, of course, recall the stalkers, and I actually think there's a good chance that he will. Like, this is cute and all, but if Bunny can finally start doing damage with his medevacs, if DNS would have been at home, those two medevacs don't do anything with a couple of, like, Zealots, a Guardian Shield there. Now these medevacs do damage. I don't think DNS has to stay there that long. Let's see if he can minimize the losses. Okay, he's going to recall.
It's a lot of stalkers with the pop up on top of the army. But it also puts them in range of the army, which is a bit of an issue. They pick out the medevac, which is nice. No escape now for Bunny. But he trades out for a couple of stalkers, gets a couple of probes, and this attack not so bad for the Terran. Now, great, but not so bad.
I agree with you. I don't think it was all that bad. Like, it's not the dream. It's not a devastating amount of damage. But now he's freeing up units as well in the middle of the... Oh, he's actually getting out of there with maybe a couple of units. Oh, no, he's already looking for his next drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if all these units die to the top, it's worth it if the army's totally out of position for this. He's just gonna beeline it to the main, but oh, DNS knew that this was a problem. So he's covering his weakness. He's got his opening here. 3 stalkers and an immortal. You can't unload anything into this.
Nope. Well done. Very well done there by DNS. If he doesn't have those units there, that could have been more ugly. In the end, he took some damage, but I still like this game for him because of the upgrades, because of charge finishing up, and because of, I mean, DNS is French, so this is really appropriate. L'explosion de gateway, as Todd would say, because he's getting 5 more gates, and he's going to be able to wipe in a lot of units.
Okay, now that observer 100% sought these medevacs, so is watching his vision just to double check. So stalkers are in position. If Bunny, if he goes in here, he's dead. And this is the problem.
He's hiding it. DNS is looking for it.
Oh my god! All right, Bunny manages to live. This is good for Bunny, not so good for DNS, but not exactly harmful to DNS to not pick that off. Like, he's not going to lose because his medevac lived, but that would have been huge. That would have like 8 less units in the army. He's got units to the top. He's got units to the south. Bunny doesn't know where to go.
No, Bunny's going to look for an opening, and if he does get his mines in a good position, this can still be kind of annoying for DNS. This is the one moment where DNS could potentially get a very bad fight, because he only has 55 army supply. His zealot count isn't that high, and he's supply blocked.
Whoa. Yeah, the stalkers and the immortals for the main take so long to get here, so the zealots are gone. Now he just sims on top of the immortals to the top side. No war person to help micro this out. Stalkers blinking away, but he can get out of there with those medevacs. It's about picking off the right ones.
One had a couple units in it. Good hold there by the DNS though, because the next hold, it's only gonna get easier from here, Riff. This was that one kind of maybe gnarly fight, especially after he lost the pilots and he was supply blocked. Like, this looked close, and it kind of was close, but in the end, DNS got the job done. The next fight, close your eyes and get ready for a Reddit thread or 2 about how stupid Protoss is, because the next fight is not going to be close.
He's going to have 2-2. He's churning it out right now. It's going to be finished in just a moment. But he's only just finished 1-1. Armor, he's not even done. He can't even start +2. This shift in power, man, is crazy. Just watching how Bunny dominated the first 3 games. Like, DNS has really started to play better. He's cleaned this up. I love the upgrade timings. He's hitting all the marks.
I love the pylons on the north side as well. He's going to spot those liberators. Now, the only thing he has to worry about is that triple drop in the main, but that's a triple drop. But if you wipe in a bunch of zealots out of like 11 gateways with 2 upgrades, even if you're out of position, you're going to have a pretty okay time, believe it or not.
Yeah, but I just realized he pulled the observer from the south. Now he's here, he's ready, he's waiting, but he didn't actually see this coming, confirmed. But thank God the stalkers are here. This will keep these out of the main.
It would almost be good to put the stalkers a little bit closer towards the gateway and let Bunny commit. Bunny, are you paying attention? Yeah, he is.
Oh, no! He got too ballsy if he was paying attention, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, this is just going to be so hard for Bunny. He starts +2 attack, when +3 armor is 35-40% done. These are the Protoss games that you guys hear about, and this is why Protoss has been doing well against Terran. Bunny does still have a small supply lead, but that's only because DNS is not spending his money, and he's been supply blocked. If DNS warps in like 11 more units, I don't see how Bunny's going to win the fight. These Liberators are going to have to get the best position ever, and these mine hits need to be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the only thing that he might have going for him. Widow Mines, of course, don't care about upgrades, right? Spell damage, they'll go through it, they'll take out the Zealots. If he clears out the Zealot wave, he can absolutely take on this army that has better upgrades if it's just Stalkers. But even then, there's still Sentries, there's still Immortals, there's so much he has to tackle through. And this choke is not going to favor him that much.
I think that Bunny was hoping that DNS would take an absolutely atrocious fight there on that ramp, but DNS is like, well, you're kind of far away from my building, so I don't really need to take the worst fight ever here. Every second that goes by is a good second for DNS with all those gateways and all those warpings.
Every 60 seconds, a minute passes. Widow Mines gets some pretty good shots. The Zealots are mostly thinned through. Is this enough, though? Liberators aren't being dealt with immediately. Now he blinks forward. Medivacs pick up the bios. There's nothing protecting those Liberators. And the ramp is the only place Bunny can possibly fight.
DNS should just wipe in like 11 Zealots. I don't really know why he's getting like Archons right now. Just get like 11 Zealots, send them in and charge on top and jump on top of this army, because he could clean this up. Bunny's going to go for a drop in the main during all of this.
Oh, can he deny Storm? Oh, he's not looking for it. Oh, too many units warped in already. This has already just been shut down before it even got a chance to kick off.
I mean, Bunny's sort of doing quite well here, in all honesty. Considering the upgrades and stuff, I'm impressed with how long this push has been staying alive. And the trades that Bunny is getting, he's still up in army supply. DNS's army is starting to look a tiny bit sad. It's almost like he's really waiting for Storm. He is harassing though on the left top side, and that's going to be very annoying for Bunny to deal with.
Yeah, this gets pretty bad once Storm finishes up, because the one thing Bunny's been able to do is just stay clumped up in this choke and not worry about splash damage. No Colossus, no nothing. But yeah, these Zealots, really well upgraded Zealots, taking forever to kill. Big warp and hit into the main as well, and Bunny's getting broken on that front line. As he boosts in, he goes for the main. He's going to try and control the top of this ramp. This is a brilliant move from Bunny, and probably the best fight he'll take, but will it be good enough?
Oh, there was no high ground vision, but the Phoenix is going to grant a little bit of high ground vision. The Stalkers are doing a little bit of damage. Storm is doing a lot of damage. Bunny is losing 25 SCVs at home. Can he win the game here? I mean, these Liberators are good, but they're so bruised.
Run by to the third. Those gonna get a lot of probes. The main base might trade out evenly at best, but yo, this is where he starts getting that damage done to pay back for that worker loss he took in the main.
Yep, that is an excellent little split off there. Those bio units really salvaged that entire push.
He just denied the warp, and now he's got a recall. Oh, now it goes back to the main. Oh, but he just secured the main. He's going to lose all these Templars that are sitting here.
Look at all the High Templars. They're going to morph into Archons, but they're not done yet. Bunny with some really sick plays. He's still up in army supply. These Liberators are fresh, by the way. Oh, those Widow Mines actually killed the Medivac.
I can't even believe that he got this damage in the main, go back for round 2 like this, but he trades out decently for army. His upgrades are still so far behind, though. I mean, Bunny, through all of this, like, okay, it's cool, it's flashy, it's great, but DNS is still just trucking along to +3. He's got plasma shields as well. He's already on +3 armor. I mean, this still looks very good for DNS, all things considered.
He survived. He weathered the storm. I must say, massive kudos to Bunny, because he got absolute maximum value out of that push. I really love the moves, trying to outmaneuver, trying to get great positions on his Liberators. But in the end, I think DNS was a tiny bit too rich. And the upgrades, even if DNS took bad fights, upgrades salvage bad fights very, very quickly.
Oof. There's no Medivacs now. One coming down from production, but this has just been so difficult for poor Bunny. Can't get anything in the air to stay alive. Liberators die, Medivacs die, everything's dead.
Yep, he's got 2 Medivacs left. That's not very much. Those mines are going to get picked up as well in the middle. He's going to go for one more final drop towards the right top side, but already a bunch of cells being wiped in. They do run away. If Bunny can pull DNS back, that's a way to survive and drag this game on and on and on. Is DNS going to recall, or will DNS go for the kill?
I think DNS honestly might be better off trying to base trade out. Like, he's just got such a better army for this. He's got better upgrades for it too. Give up that 4th base and just warp into the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, losing an X is... This is always where things get a tiny bit dicey. Obviously, I still love DNS's position, don't get me wrong, but... You know, but before there was no hope, I would always say if you can kill the Proto Sports base, there might be a tiny bit of hope. Don't go into that main though. I mean, his upgrades are great. Unless he just blinks on top of that army, can he do that? Oh, he can storm at least.
I think that was the only storm though.
Look at how many probes he's losing on the right side.
There's that recall. This is going to crush that drop. He's got to boost the heck out of there. Rest in peace, Marauder. He actually did bring Bunny home, or DNS home. But, okay, so Burning Command Center lived. He's got to repair that up. He's got the 4th base. Does DNS not know about this, actually? Oh, he doesn't know about this. I was like, why wouldn't he go for this kill with a couple units? Like, recall everything but leave, like, 3 units behind or something? But he has no idea the Bunny's still mining.
I mean, 37 probes is not that many, Riff. I mean, this is the part in the game where if DNS starts losing units, it actually starts hurting him. That drop at the right top side just gave Bunny a second life. I still like DNS's position, but Bunny actually has a chance in this game, and that's remarkable.
Bunny going for Ghost is really ambitious, but if he can get those out, absolutely necessary. Warp Prism, I think, just barely missed the Medivacs. No, okay, he saw it. Stalker's warping to the main immediately, but 2 Stalkers isn't going to cut it. He's going to need more than this.
You know, Riv, it still is 3-3-1 against 2-1 upgrades, though.
This is such a bad upgrade game for the Terran. It's hard to look at, too, because normally it's not so bad, but Bunny's been forced to play in such a scrappy way, such an all-in way, despite having the extra bases.
If DNS had, or excuse me, if Bunny had 3-3, I would say there's a little bit of hope, but right now, I think even if DNS goes like AFK or alt-tabs during the fights, he's still gonna trade really well. Because those Zealots won't die. They seriously won't die.
Yeah, we were watching, I mean, even in that defensive fight, the Widow Mines weren't even taking out the Zealots. It was ridiculous. Nothing here wants to go down, but Ghosts, they bring a couple of cool elements to this, right? First off, you take away the EMP, great. That's going to help out a lot. But on top of this, like, it takes out the possibility of Storms. And right now, Storms have been killing Bunny. Like, just absolutely killer.
Yeah, I mean, there is a tiny bit of hope for Bunny, but I still think that Bunny's best chance is to, as soon as DNS tries to commit again, is to do the same thing as he did before. Try to pull him back. Killing that fort and also doing a lot of damage towards the third base was absolutely massive. Yeah,
there's no detection. There's no detection. I think he just muled too. No, he's got at least one scan. He's got at least one scan.
He just used call down for supply depot.
What's this DT awkwardly doing?
Okay, massive drop in the main. Feedbacks don't actually kill the Medivacs. DNS is gonna go for the kill, but okay, he's gonna wipe in DTs defensively as well. That's very smart.
There's not enough scans to defend it home, to attack across the map. Oh, he's a giant storm going through the bottom of that ramp too. Oh no!
Oh no!
Everything holding up back at home. He's just gonna try and, I guess, fight in the natural base. But honestly, like, I don't know. You gotta use EMPs for the storms. He can't get to the front line to use the EMPs for said storms. This is gonna be tough. He takes a bad storm to start with. He's getting pushed back into the corner. Ghost already goes down. No EMPs, no hope. And I think DNS has finally done it. GG.
DNS getting 2 wins in a row after being down 0-3. And he's finally showing us some real Protoss power in these games.
That was a hell of a game, though, because I'm totally on board. Like, DNS played that well. I've got a million praises for DNS. But Bunny was making a lot of things happen that made me go, like, wait a minute. Like, could this actually happen? Could he actually turn this around?
No, like, this is a tough map, I think, for Terran against Protoss, because all the drops, the early drops, they arrive like 5 to 10 seconds later than they do on other maps, because the map is so long, right? And the moment your first medevac with 3 mines get picked up and you do 0 damage, there are Terrans that leave at that point. They're like, all right, you know, I'm done, hands up the keyboard. And he kept fighting, and the way that he made that push happen with the Liberators, with the Widow Mines, and then switching between the main and the ramp, I loved it, and I really feel like he made the best of a very bad situation. In the end, it wasn't enough, but it got a tiny bit close at one point.
So a bit of an awkward break maybe coming down, guys. We wouldn't normally play a commercial right now, but apparently DNS has a nosebleed he needs to attend to. So he wants about 3 minutes. I don't mind, so we'll just take a small break while he looks, I don't know, looks into fixing this. I don't know how to phrase it, but while he gets some toilet paper for his nose or something. So we'll see you guys in a couple minutes, and when we get back, it'll be Bunny's map choice. All right, folks, we're back. So there's a little bit of awkwardness there. Like I said, one of our players had a nosebleed he had to deal with. He's still not, I don't know if he's back and good to go yet, but we did get the map pick out of Bunny. So there's 2 maps remaining in the pool right now. It is Abyssal Reef, the one we're going to, and then Battle on the Boardwalk. And if we go to games 8 and if we go to game 9, which it looks like at this rate we're going to be doing, then it will just refresh the map pool entirely. They can pick from any map all over again.
I think these last 2 maps, though, are both kind of tough for DNS. I think Ascension to Aya was an absolutely fantastic map for him and for the playstyle that's popular right now. Abyssal Reef, I'm not going to say that it's bad for Protoss, but there are definitely some spots where Terran, you know, if they can get like a decent opening at first, there are multiple things that could be viable as well, because the map isn't that long. And then obviously we all know about the 2 base pushes with Marines and tanks on the low ground of the natural, especially if a Liberator or 2 gets sprinkled into the mix. That's where things can become quite dicey. And Battle of the Boardwalk is just weird and awkward, but it's a very straightforward line for Marines and tanks to then be perfectly positioned. So surviving the next 2 maps is going to be hard for DNS, but if he does that, you know, if he just wins 1 out of the next 2, he absolutely still can do it. I still believe that he can go all the way, but these are 2 very difficult maps.
Yeah, I think if this goes to game 7, well, it will at this point. When it goes to game 7, I think Battle on the Boardwalk, it's the Terran map. Like, to be honest with you guys, as a Terran player too, I don't fully understand it, but we watch all these pros, so forget my experience for a second. When you see every single Terran pro pick that map when they're given the choice, you know that's the favored map. So that being said, it's really important DNS wins this game, because if Bunny wins this one and then would assumedly take game 7, then he would win the series. He's still that close. It's not match point yet, but it could be. We're just waiting on Maynard to join us. Are you not getting these invites, dude, or what?
I didn't get one, but I'll jump in. I'll just join off you.
Okay, I was trying to invite you like 15 times now.
I haven't got it yet, sorry.
Okay, well, we'll get Maynard in the lobby. Looks like he's here. Wait, do we have the old gaming guys in here too? My lobby's like screwed up now.
Yeah,
so,
old gaming is here.
Le Baguette.
Maynard joins
TV
and it
Costa.
actually gets rid of all the spectators. I can't see anybody now.
Oh, we're all in. Emil is in, Maynard's in, you are in, OGTV is in.
Then we'll be good to go if the players are. Of course, yeah, if you guys have just tuned in, we'll do some sponsor shouts. It's been a while once we get into the game, but just waiting on the players now to ready up. Like we said, we don't know if DNS is actually fully, like, air quotes, recovered or not, but looks like he's good to go, so let's get into it. It's Abyssal Reef. Enjoy this intro written by me, sang by Tempo. See you guys in game.
The Vespine is always greener in somebody else's base. You dream about blowing up theirs, but they have a real good race. Just look at the map around you, right here on Abyssal Reef. As ultras and links surround you, so make like a tree and leave under the sea. Typing GG, darling, it's better typing those letters. Take it from me.
All right, folks, we are back, and we continue on with this best of 9. Series is getting a little bit closer now, but still very much favoring this fella. To the bottom right, he's up with 3 games in his back pocket. It's the Blue Terran, Bunny.
And on the left top side of beautiful Abyssal Reef, we're looking at the main base of our French Protoss. It is a DNS. Trying to go for that back-to-back special trophy on BaseTradeTV. You've got one ready for him, right, Riff?
Totally. I'm just gonna go make it right now to paper. Cut it out. No, I wish we actually had trophies. Man, I'm so sad. A long time ago, we were actually in talk with this jeweler / goldsmith who was gonna give us like a 80% off deal on like trying to make these sort of championship rings, which we would mail out to people who would win tournaments. But that unfortunately fell through. But that was the closest I ever got to being like super excited about a trophy, because everyone does trophies, but like some sort of Super Bowl style ring, that'd be so sick.
Absolutely. I think trophies in general are freaking sick. Like, I've still got some of my silly Warcraft 3 trophies from like 11 years ago, you know? And they probably costed like $3 for the tournament to get it. But for me, you know, that represents something. I was like, yeah, I remember. I was so happy and proud. I think it's always nice if you win something that you actually get, you know, to show it off a little bit.
The Helt's Boot time, I don't know if you remember this because it's a long time ago now, but
you had a belt.
Time, we had the belt. A lot of people don't know this, so that was actual gold we got in the belt. Like, that belt alone was worth like $800 on top of the actual like prize money won. So I don't know if Hyun's aware of that or not, but he's got that probably most unique trophy for StarCraft sitting at home somewhere. Hopefully he hasn't pawned that off.
Cool, man. Do you know where this actually came? Who started with belts? I know it's big in boxing and you know,
and
MMA
wrestling and stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know where it started, but
it's kind of weird. But I do think it's cool.
It's different for sure. I've actually, I can't talk too much on this, but we do have plans for a trophy thing. My problem I'm running into those, I can't find anybody local in British Columbia who does custom trophies. Everyone only does like the cutout, like custom, like, oh, here's your soccer trophy, right? It's got a kid with a ball on it type thing. Like, get this for like a StarCraft tournament. Like, that's not gonna work. I'll tape some wings on it, make it a mothership core instead of a soccer ball. I don't know.
That would be so good. The dumbest trophy of all time. You know, the guy shooting a basketball. It's like, congrats for the hell of all time. Like,
you won the BTSL. Here's the bowling trophy.
That's amazing. What are you waiting for, Riff? Any trophy is better than no trophy, okay?
Alright, well, Reaper pops up in here for a bit of a scout. Not much to really see, but sees the Nexus and knows it's nothing too crazy. Of course, he'll have to wrap around the long way to get into the main, and the main base is what he needs to scout to see what's going on. Most Protoss players, or at least I'll say majority of Protoss players, we've been seeing still stick to Stargates, even though the Oracle is still not that hot. So seeing anything else is always going to be a little bit troublesome, but not getting up here to see anything, especially not that Robo.
Now, we do see him. Oh, that's actually nice. He picked up the Reaper. That's the one nice thing about picking up the Reaper, and this is excellent SimCity, by the way, against DNS. It's very good against Hellions, and Hellions are still quite popular as well. And that's actually what he's going up against. So the fact that he has a wall off is going to help him out tremendously. But picking up the Reaper is nice, because then you can always send out like one probe to just warp in that Nexus. But it's very annoying when you're worried about the drop coming in, and then you want to send out a probe, and then the Reaper is still there. You don't want to use your Stalkers, because you want to use your Stalkers to defend against the Hellions and the drop. So well done by DNS.
Okay, so he's bringing the Marines with him through the medevac. I thought he was just going to maybe elevator the 4 Hellions to the main, and these are the next 2 to run to the natural once everything was drawn out of position. He may still end up trying to do this, but...
Yeah. I mean, he's going to take a look at that ramp, and he's going to see there's absolutely no way he's going to bat it through that ramp. So maybe just dropping 4 Hellions in the main and suiciding it is actually his best choice. There is nothing he's going to be able to get done here. No, Bunny. I don't think this is a fight you really want to take.
I agree. He's never going to break that wall. Not with a shield battery there. Hellions just don't have the damage for this. And he's lost so much already. Not just in terms of units, but in terms of health on said units. The Observer sees the swap too, so he's going to know this is heading to the main. He's already repositioning himself. For Bunny, this has been a terrible opening.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he doesn't lose the medevac, I feel it's something you can always sort of live with, but don't lose the medevac. If you can, no, he's gonna leave. No, exactly. Just leave it behind. Sometimes you gotta say goodbye to your children, or in this case, a Hellion, because you don't want to lose the medevac.
Roddy, what the fuck? Like, see you later, kids. I gotta go. Enjoy the park, like, for the rest of your lives. Hello?
All my units are my babies, and I don't like to let any of my Zealots or Stalkers drown, but sometimes the Prism just can't come back. It's just it's the way it is.
Dad of the Year award right here, man. I swear to God. All right, well, as bad as this Hellion opening was, he's going to go back for round 2, and maybe there's a chance DNS isn't expecting this. Like, he thinks, okay, I've deflected this, there won't be another attempt at it, but Bunny has another Hellion joining in, so he'll head towards the main. But this is still tough. He doesn't have a third base down yet. He's just started it in the main. The Observer confirms this too. So he's not going to have like any sort of economic lead. He's going to have no upgrade lead whatsoever. Well, I'll take that back, because I guess Chrono could actually overtake this, but +1 in stem is the only thing Bunny has going for him behind this, and he's got no worker kills and no unit kills to show for this.
I would like to explain something real quick, because maybe some people are wondering, like, hey Roddy, the previous games you're talking about how much you like the Twilight into the Robo. Why is DNS going Robo right now, you know, if it's that good? That has a lot to do with the map, of course. Abyssal is a lot smaller than Ascension. By the time that the first drop hits on Ascension, you're gonna have Blink. On Abyssal, that wouldn't be the case, so the Twilight doesn't help you in defending. And also, because this map is a lot smaller, certain 2-base pushers are a lot stronger, and you need to know what kind of a 2-base push you're facing. So that's why the faster Observers are incredibly powerful on Abyssal. While on Ascension, even if you don't really know which 2-base push is coming, it doesn't matter that much, because you got so much extra time to get ready for it, and your Stalkers will often get the information. So I really like that DNS isn't stuck in his ways. Went for the Twilight on Ascension, made sense. Goes for the Robo on Abyssal, makes a lot of sense. Ooh, Hellions.
Yeah, they'll get in here and fry up some probes. It's not going to be too bad, but the Colossus chases us off. However, these 2 medevacs are going to find opposition waiting for them. Stalkers, okay, Blink's not dumb, but still enough to drive off the medevacs.
If I was Bunny, I would start trying to take away a little bit of the map vision of DNS, because like we see this as well. DNS at the moment sees way too much. Those Observers, they make sound. It's not that hard to spot them. There's a pylon, exactly. Let those Hellions just kill the pylon. If they can't do anything else, just take away. Oh, he's actually going to stop, but I would love to see him just try to take away the map vision a tiny bit.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to what I was referencing earlier with Zest. I mean, we see the best Protoss players do this. If you've got vision, you're going to win the game. You'll be able to see the Terran drops coming. You'll be able to see which avenue of attack they're heading down and be in position, ready and waiting. So he does try and chase off an Observer, but that's been spotted, I guess. Scan over here also going to reveal this one.
Yep.
Now, here's my question. You just brought this up because I don't actually know. The annoying sound that they make while they're deployed, can the other person actually hear that?
Yeah, it's like bloop, bloop, Yeah, of course the Terrans can hear that.
God, they put that in like only a couple weeks ago or so. It sounds so irritating when I pan over it while observing. It's just like, oh, what does that sound?
You can, especially when your seat's up, it's like extra loud. You can never do that. So there are 4 medevacs heading towards their main, and DNS is actually a little bit out of position, and he doesn't have blink. Oh, don't kill your robot. DNS is so mad he was out of position. DNS, stop.
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, that was a little bit scary because you know, the first couple of shots fine. Third shot, you're a little bit. Or fourth shot, you're like, what are you doing, man? Robo was half dead.
Kill that Spyland. Okay, so I like this as well by Bunny. Bunny didn't commit, didn't throw away units. Obviously, if nothing happens, it's good for DNS. DNS knows that. But Bunny is about to make a very big push, and if he can do something about the fort base, maybe with Liberators. Could be the move he's looking for. He's gonna try to drop one more time. See if he can find an opening somewhere. DNS has really done a great job in keeping track of all these medevacs so far, though.
Yeah, this army supply lead's pretty massive. This is the ability for Bunny to peel off like this and hope that DNS is out of position. The big thing is, though, really he is, in a weird way, out of position. If Bunny's going to collapse on the south side, half of the army's missing because it's sitting in the natural. So there's some positioning maybe he can take advantage of.
If I was Bunny, I'd go all the way to the back of the main, even past the Robo Bay. That's where you want to unload. Don't unload on the right side of the buildings. Go all the way on the left side. That's sort of what he's doing. Big warp-ins. Now, obviously, Bunny's going to take some losses, but he already got 12 probes, and don't forget about the big army on the south side.
Oh, Widowmine's also got some good shots off on the Stalkers. He's going to go, oh, wrap it over the Nexus.
Not that many Stalkers are left. I actually think that Bunny might be able to get the Nexus. He got 25 probes. He's misfiring though. Look at the Colossus. They all took a lot of damage, but none of them went down. I think Bunny could have got the Nexus there.
I was looking for some more probe kills. This might be a little bit greedy. I don't know. Goes back in like this. He's going to get some, but loses the medevac. So almost no way to get out of there. Does get out barely. Down to 45 probes. You know, he's got 4 Nexus. This is okay to manage, but not something he wants to have taken for damage. Oh, what am I? Because that Colossus, though, that was a nice shot.
I mean, that was actually kind of weird by DNS to just run into that. Looked a little bit clumsy. Oh, he gets that medevac. That's nice. That was a blink from very far away. Now 2 Stalkers are on the wrong side. They're like, guys, guys.
Only one dies.
Actually lives to tell the tale.
That's horrifying, man. You got to tell your friends what you saw there that day. But oh, that one medevac is so low. Bunny's in such a dangerous spot down here. Yeah,
Bunny, you have to chill. I think he's gonna lose 1 medevac full of units. Oh my god, that's Stalker MVP.
Yo, it says 2 kills. It should say 10. I'm just saying. Yep. That was ridiculous.
I mean, during all of that, DNS was down in workers, and Bunny's just keeping him busy because he looks at an army of DNS and he's like, oh my god, that's a powerful army. He needs the planetary to finish up. He needs Liberators in position. The mines do not really get the connection they're looking for. Can Bunny defend this planetary? That's obviously game importance for him.
Well, the planetary's gonna add a lot of damage to take out these Stalkers while they try and take down the Liberators. He loses the ground army for it. So very expensive engagement here for DNS.
Don't forget about 2 medevacs on the left side. The fort base of DNS is going to be under a lot of fire again.
He's gonna recall. Okay, this gets him off his back though, so this still is kind of okay for Bunny. Just getting DNS away. Oh, medevac goes down.
I mean, getting a recall, saving your own fort base, and putting the units back while getting a couple probes, not bad. Not a good move there by Bunny.
Well, Bunny's upgrades are, they always seem to catch up only to fall behind. +3's picking up here for DNS. He's chronoing that out, so it's going to get a lead once again. That's going to help out the Colossus a ton.
Yeah, but this game, it's like, I mean, it's light years better than the previous game, right? Like last game, it was 3-3-1 against 2-1. With no signs ever of 3-3. Now Bunny's on 4 bases, Bunny's got a planetary, Bunny's got Liberators, and for right now as we speak, he's actually even on upgrades. So compared to the previous game, this is really quite good. Bunny's mis-rallying a couple of units, that's sloppy.
The Liberator range is taking advantage of the way he's built his Forge and Twilight counts over here. This is going to screw the couple mineral patches at that natural for a long time. Set it and forget it.
Oh my god, he's gonna have to wait all the way until he gets the Stargate. Good move there, Reaper. He needs to keep the planetary alive. Can he do that? I think he can.
Force fields end up blocking out the Zealots, so it kind of works not so bad for Bunny, but he can't move in there while those force fields are active either. Drop to the 4th base once again, picking off a couple probes, getting a couple Stalkers.
Yep. DNS is like desperately looking to do real damage, but he just can't find the opening. And now the Liberators are really kind of keeping him busy and shutting him down. And obviously with Lib range, it becomes a lot harder to attack into this Terran. I think that DNS is going to have to... No, he has a good economy again, even though he lost a lot of workers. But I think he needs to get ready to get a real answer against all these Libs. Because, yes, Stalkers are amazing. But do you really ever want to blink into like 6 or 7 Liberators with range? I'm not sure.
Yeah, especially with these Marauders, a planetary fortress and Widow Mines protecting them below it. Like, the Stalkers will come in and surely kill the Liberators, but they'll die in the process. There's no doubt about it.
Double drop in the natural of DNS. A couple of Stalkers is not going to be enough. The cannon helps out. Shield battery helps out. He's going to wipe in a few Zealots, and that might actually get the job done. Come on, stand in the circle.
There we go. That'll help out a little bit. The Phoenix will slowly, emphasis on slowly, whittle away at the Liberator. So finally remove that part of the equation. But this didn't get a lot of workers, unfortunately, for Bunny. Trades out for mostly Zealots.
Prism in the main, though. Wow, Bunny picked it up so fast. I really thought that this Prism could do a devastating amount of damage. But actually, Bunny reacted to it very quickly. These Zealots are still strong, though. And now the Colossus from the other side. This game is going mental, Riv, because now Bunny is counterattacking as well.
Oh, geez, big pick off on this Nexus, too. DNS is a fairly good bank, though, so losing this won't kill him. Bunny's struggling in the meantime to build anything.
He recalls. I mean, he knows that you cannot lose 2-3 bases. The Zealots eventually do get cleaned up. I love that counterattack by Bunny. He didn't want to take a bad fight on the low ground. He should be able to get the Prism here as well. There is a fleet beacon, so eventually there is going to be a real answer to all these Liberators.
See you in 40 years after these finally kill the War Prism. Chasing that all the way from the main. Oh, man. This game, you're right, though. Mental, nuts, crazy. It's been good, though, and that's what, I'm just excited about. But there's so few medevacs with energy right now. Healing up this army that was stimmed from running away actually proving to be a bit of a problem.
Yeah, but if you can get the circles in a good position, though, those are some mighty fine circles if you're a turn player. That's something you can truly believe. Oh, look at all those buy units in the middle of the map. You can't lose those, Bunny. And he does it. What is Bunny going to do? He's going to zone out this army. He's going to run into the natural?
They came from behind.
They came from every side.
Yeah, really? He's going to move in, though, and DNS can't actually recall again. He just recalled out, so this will lock down the ramp. There's no way DNS can move up this ramp.
And he only has a couple of Tempest. Marines trying to get in range. He does save the Tempest for now. DNS, I think he's just going to try to blink in here and try to get it. Look at that Tempest! It lives.
This is so bad for DNS. Positioning for Bunny out of control good right now. He takes another base while this goes on, lifts over and moves. So he's getting it.
He lost the fleet beacon, sorry. He's going to go for the big blink right now off this ramp. And I think that DNS might... Oh, he's just going to tap out.
Oh, this is rough for DNS now. This puts DNS on match point going into a Terran-favored map for the last possible map available right now.
Oh, what a game by Bunny. What a game. This was really awesome stuff from our Korean Terran player. Like, he went for that opening with the Hellions, couldn't get the damage done that he was hoping for, immediately pulled back his units, didn't sacrifice it, just dragged the game on and on and on, kept dropping, kept forcing DNS. Every time the DNS wanted to make a big fight, he's forced to recall again. Sick move. So many good plays by Bunny in that game. Of course, well played by DNS too, but Bunny really shined here on Abyssal.
I'm absolutely loving this. A lot of times we get to these finals, and frankly, they're one-sided, or they're just like one player's playing so much better than the other. This has been really back and forth. Like this, I want more of this. Like I'm just sad that we can't have a longer series.
That was a really good game. That was an excellent, just a great PvT where we can almost forget about everything we've heard over the last few weeks and just enjoy some great StarCraft, because that was just awesome. It was awesome by both, but I love the way that every time DNS was really ready to fight, Bunny was there again. And you know, we were mentioning the map vision a lot. You're mentioning Zest's playstyle as well. You notice every time that Bunny was able to finally pick up the observers, pick up the pylons, from there on, everything snowballed, right? Because he gets a drop there, he gets a drop in the left bottom. Just very high action past game paced.
Well, guys, I'm going to be tagging out now, so we'll come back. I'll do some sponsor shoutouts, but there'll be Maynard and Roddy casting this game. So we're going to hop into it now as players are ready. Battle on the boardwalk, possibly last map today. Hopefully not. We'll see you guys soon. All right,
G'day,
folks.
guys. It is time. Oh, my bad. I thought that was a throw to me. Go,
No,
Rifkin.
sorry. I was getting, like I said, sponsor shots real quick that I'll toss to you guys. Get out of the way really quick, though.
All right.
So if you guys haven't already, be sure to check out the sponsors, PeopleImages.com. Be sure to check out the Matcherino. Got over $7,200 raised thanks to you guys helping us out. And with that, Maynard, I toss off to you.
Thank you, Rifkin. In the top right here, he's been valiantly fighting in a series, but he is against the ropes. One map from elimination. This is DnS.
And on the left top side of this tiny map, battle on the boardwalk, we're looking at the main base of our Korean Terran. He's on championship point. Can he close it out? It's Bunny.
Yeah, man. Thousands of dollars on the line. One or two maps potentially difference, and DnS is going to go big balls, big brain gaming here with a fast proxy. Is this actually looking like it's made time out to be a similar proxy to the one that he did on Catalyst? Will it be the Stalker proxy once again?
It kind of looks like it, right? I think he might actually go for the gateway again because he doesn't have a cyber core yet. Obviously, I think this is, I mean, let's see how Bunny decides to open up. Is Bunny going to do the exact same thing, or is Bunny going to switch things up? It kind of seems like a Reaper fast expand, and that's once again, absolutely, what DnS is hoping to face here.
Yeah, Reaper fast expand, usually following up with a reactor. You mentioned the weaknesses of this build, and that is Stalker aggression, or early game aggression in general, because the reactor might as well be a Dark Shrine on the right side of your barracks. It takes so long to finish, you're not producing any units while that add-on is on the way, and you're just hoping that your factory units can pan out in time before the Protoss just crushes your natural.
And don't forget about the annoying thing of battle on the boardwalk. It's very easy to wall off here. This SV is going to scout, and obviously Bunny ain't crazy. He's going to have a good idea that maybe something fishy is going on. But there is no confirmation. This time the SV cannot make a little circle in the main.
The Reaper sees it.
See everything. The Reaper does see it,
yeah, the Reaper went down in the south, and he did see that that gateway down there. So this time, with extra warning, Bunny starts the bunker a little bit early. In fact, he's making a couple bunkers here because he knows the Stalkers have to come through this choke point to attack him.
Yep, I love it. Very smart. Reaper is going to buy a little bit of time as well. Stark's going to ignore the Reaper for now. DnS is going to work on the first bunker, but he also knows if the other bunker... Wow, he cancels the CC.
Wow, canceling that CC. A big, bold move there from Bunny. Actually, the front door's down. He's going to get in the main and maybe pick up this other bunker as well.
Okay, we're looking at 3 unfinished bunkers, 2 minutes and 49 seconds into the game.
I mean, those were the 3 structures I expected to be cancelled, not the CC. Unfortunately, he is going to cancel 2 of them here. That low ground bunker mostly done, but DnS is starting to pick away at that reactor that can cut into the marine production. Of course, the Cyclone is what he really wants to stop from getting out here, but as it stands, he's just going to be happy with his Stalker pressure to just take more SCV damage. And without that low ground CC, this is actually looking worse for Bunny than it did on Catalyst.
Yeah, it's already bad. He's down 6 workers. He doesn't have a bunker. He's going to lose maybe 1 more Marine there. The Cyclone is finally here to save the day.
Nice micro. Keeps those Stalkers alive. Oh!
That's a supply depot. What a move.
So sick! Oh, that was so sick! Oh my god.
I was like, what is he doing? What is DnS doing? Why is he like derping around? But Bunny with the block. Oh my god.
That was a 1,000 IQ supply depot there from Bunny. Oh my god. Yeah, it is actually. That's a looks like a full wall off here for DnS. He's so scared of this counterattack. Yeah.
We still got a game, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that DnS was okay with how it played out at first, but losing those 3 Stalkers, I mean, that's not supposed to happen. What a move by Bunny, amazing. Very high IQ gaming.
Incredibly high IQ. It's actually really intimidating to cast this game now. How players are. We'll have to do our best, Rotterdam. The proxy does get breathe a sigh of relief now. He knows that he's safer to take that natural and continue on. DnS repowers with a second pile on the wall so he can open that front gate and, you know, be able to walk his Stalkers back down the ramp. But we can see that he does have that Nexus in the gold base location in the bottom right. And that's one of the things in Battle of the Boardwalk. You need to keep an eye on those bottom left corners because when there's a gold base there, you can't leave it alone.
I mean, look at the Cyclones. They're already working on those rocks. They will fall quite quickly. Of course, it takes a little while facing the game. And if DnS doesn't have vision, well, okay, he does already have a shield battery, and he's also going to get vision for himself. So DnS is still in a good position, but the Robo is late, which means the Observers are late. And maybe if Bunny can just find one more little thing going for himself, this is actually going to be a pretty decent game for Bunny.
Yeah, can absolutely turn this one into a game, and he is starting to, for real now, block this attack path with supply depots. Can also block the attack path towards his gold, to his gold base as well, that side of the map. Just little things like that. Less avenues of attack to have to worry about with a Terran. And he is going to start that drop play, heading immediately to that gold base. But DnS is ready. He's got a force to meet that medevac.
Yep, and the shield battery as well. That makes all the difference. Because Cyclones is so... Oh my god, everything is here. I'd almost love for Bunny to see this and just ignore all of this, right? And just chill. I mean, Bunny has been pretty good, even on Abyss, so he never really overcommitted when DnS seemed to be ready. Blink is done. So now DnS actually just wants to fight. If I'm Bunny right here, I'd say, like, if my opponent scouts it this early, it's better to go back, Bunny, because you can't win this fight.
One Stalker getting picked off there. The Stalkers blink just now to try and pick off that second Cyclone. They don't quite get the medevac, though. Bunny's medevac is heading towards the main base, where DnS has 3 Stalkers waiting. And if these Marines unload, they don't have stim, though, so I don't actually think they can win that fight anyway.
I think Bunny's aware of that as well. I think he was thinking about it, but he's like, nah, there's going to be units ready. We've got a dodge.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go full Maynard.
As well. I think that made a lot of sense by Bunny. You really don't... You cannot afford to lose a medevac. Losing the Cyclones, it stung. You know, he tried. He looked for an opening, couldn't get it. Excellent defense by DnS. Great scouting by him without observers. But from now on for Bunny, he's going to be very, very careful with your medevacs.
Yeah, a lost medevac in this game would be devastating for Bunny, who's already starting to fall a little bit behind in this, with DNS's third Nexus about to finish up. He's getting a Dark Shrine as well, so he's going to start getting Archons and also Double Forge. Bunny's dropping off in this dark area here on that narrow path between the main and the fort.
I love it, because now he doesn't have to unload those units one by one. The Stalker's out of position because of the Reaper. That Reaper really proving to be useful. Now the Force was actually blocking. Oh, okay. Bunny's kind of trapped. If I'm Bunny, I would say try to kill one of those Stalkers and just get the hell out of here. No, he's going to fight from 2 sides.
Yeah, questionable attack from Bunny. DnS is kind of blocking his own units a little bit here. It's tough to engage. He needs to blink forward, and he does eventually. He picks up those medevacs, and he's going to trade pretty well against this bio here.
Yeah, I think it was a possible trade, though. I'm not sure if that was really all that brilliant, because during all of this, Bunny is also attacking the other base. Of course, now DTs are also wrecking stuff on the other side of the map. But I think in the end, DnS lost a lot of expensive units there.
And it sounds like Bunny actually just muled as well, so he doesn't have scans on either of his CCs. And the gold base has only just been started, so no chance of that ever becoming an orderless scanning here. He's desperately trying to get these turrets done, but we know these DTs of DnS, just a casual 17 SCV kills.
Yep, the DTs changed everything. Scan being used on the right bottom side, as these Marines are going to try to get a couple of kills, a couple of Stalkers helping out as well. Shield batteries proving to be, once again, super useful. If it wasn't for these Dark Templars, Bunny would have been in a magnificent position. But these DTs, they really messed him up.
Yeah, they certainly did. With that, when I see a Dark Shrine go down, I'm like, oh, this is just going to be some cheap Archons for the Protoss. But just forget the DTs are pretty damn good units sometimes. Bunny's making a lot of turrets.
Look at the Illuminati of turrets in the main. It's actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
Those are like some panic turrets if I've ever seen some, you know?
That's right. Imagine if turrets could hit the ground. It's like having overcharge. What?
Hey, the Prism died to a mine. That's actually quite nice. One more DT is going to get picked up as well. That finally gives some breathing room for Bunny, who's still down 20 workers, but at least getting rid of that Prism for now is quite sweet.
Bunny's dropping here in the dark period in this little narrow choke as well. And he's probably going to stim south. Yeah, he's going to stim south. But DnS has a lot of units and also shield batteries here to defend. He's not pulling the pros back, though. He's going to actually recall the Nexus and fight this, but that leaves the main open.
Yep, and he's going to run towards the main. We've got a couple of mines here as well that should get some very nice hits off. Yes, they do. 2 Stalkers and a lot of splash damage. Medevac!
Oh, my God. Tense game so far. DnS tries to warp in some Stalkers to chase down these medevacs, but Bunny, too quick on the trigger there, pulls those medevacs out of harm's way.
Yeah, and the fact that DnS has 0 observers out on the map, I mean, Bunny is really capitalizing on this. I don't know how he's finding every single dark spot, but he's doing it. And this potential drop can once again do a lot of damage. There are a few more units coming in from the north side, but these Stalkers should get picked off quite quickly.
There's a DT being warped in to defend as well, and Bunny once again finding himself without any scans. Actually, his third doesn't have a scan either, so he just has that one, and that's going to be it. Does pick up that DT.
There's a big fight on the north side of the map as well. That fight actually went super good for DnS because DnS left so many units there that he cleaned up the medevac, he cleaned up the widow mine. And Bunny being this hyper-aggressive, I mean, DnS is only on 43 workers, and Bunny has his own gold now as well. Obviously, upgrades are massively in favor of DnS, but the probe count is not overwhelming for our Protoss.
That is true. He is making workers 3 at a time here from Nexi, which are not really being sat on with his chrono boosts. As the medevac's picking up, and just Bunny's being really vigilant with these drops, and he's been doing this the whole series, this entire grand final. Just drop play, multitasking all game long, except for that one mech game, of course. And he's just trying to find openings. This time he has to pull back. DnS is starting to lock things down defensively here. And that Prism actually getting spotted by that medevac.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for Bunny because Bunny really liked where it was going. You know, just keep trading, trying to keep DnS low on workers, and he absolutely did a great job. I mean, DnS was up 20 workers, and now it's dead even. And DnS really didn't lose that many additional probes. He's lost 19, but like 12 or 13 was during the Dark Templar hectic phase. So Bunny keeping DnS that busy and forcing that many warp-ins allowed DnS to slip his macro a little bit. And even though I still think DnS is in a good position, I think what he should have been in is a fantastic position, and I don't think he's in that great of a position.
DnS finding Bunny's army here in the middle of the map. That's a lot of Marauders here with Widow Mines and also Liberator in the sky. That's a very anti-Stalker army here, but DnS is 1 DT. Not just enough there to get rid of that bio. It does kill a couple units before he gets taken out.
Oh, he's going to go for the north side. DnS has once again no idea this is happening. He's got the Zelnaga Watchtower, but that's all he has. The Prism, and the bodies!
Ooh, that second shot a little bit better, and there's that big drop in the front base.
I think this is going to be very, very, very bad for DnS. I'm not even sure if he can recall or not, because he used recall a couple of times. Minus 20 probes, just like that. This is going to go down, and DnS is going to try to win the game. But Bunny evacuates the low grounds immediately. Maynard, Bunny is doing this so smart.
Indeed, just lifting up those structures and getting out of dodge. Can structures. Actually, when you have DTs defensively, you can do all right. This scan, he's not actually targeting down these DTs. He's going for the Nexus instead. One of these DTs still going to hack away at these units, but he is picking off. He's doing critical damage here to DnS.
He used recall, but the Nexus died, so DnS couldn't recall. DnS is going to lose even more. He's going to lose the Dark Shrine, probably end up losing the Templar Archives as well. All of his gateways are unpowered. He's heavily supply blocked. He could end up losing the Robo here too. This is just devastating. And now Bunny is going to retake his natural. Bunny is in an absolutely phenomenal position to just straight up win this entire tournament.
He certainly is. He's been incredibly in this tournament here, really showing us the gumption of this Terran play and the climate of TVP right now, playing beautifully. And he is just taking trade after trade. He's up 30-odd supply. A lot of that is in SCVs. He has to pull out. Doesn't want to take an inefficient fight here. He's in a lovely spot. Doesn't want to throw this one away.
But look at that march of bio via the north side of the boardwalk. Now the medevacs are going to join up as well. Bunny's play is almost like watching like a, a synced opera or something. Everything just comes together and it goes in waves. It's really beautiful what Bunny is showing us here today. And I mean, DnS still has an army, but that's a lot of Liberators.
Yeah, the Liberation Zone shooting a few of that bio there. Nice force fields from DnS, getting a lot of that bio pushed out of the play here with the Immortals at the back doing tons of damage to these Marauders. And DnS takes a pretty good fight.
Yeah, that's as good as a fight as he would ever get. But can he do something on the other side of the map? Because I think DnS knows that if he does nothing, Bunny has way more. Does DnS not know about the gold? I mean, he does know about the gold. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see the Prism once. Warp in a couple Zealots, drop a couple Zealots in the left bottom side. Do you know how annoying it is for Terran? Terran can just warp in and defend that orbital. If he would have been able to do something tiny bit about that, he's going to miss those medevacs as well. There is a drop already at the gold. That's the last mining base as we speak. I mean, there is not a Nexus. That's sort of mining, but not really. DnS is going to make a push of desperation. Maybe he can force his orbital to lift off one more time.
And he does get it to lift, but Bunny just with too much in the end and plays a beautiful game. What a comeback there on Battle of the Boardwalk with DnS looking like with that, with that opening, that proxy looked like it was actually going to end the game. Then Bunny held it like a boss with, of course, you know, that stylish little supply depot block. And then DNS just looked so solid and so far ahead in the mid stages of that game. And then Bunny just, once again, he's multitasking, incredible. He's decision making, incredible, and he's a well-earned champion here.
His prize winnings, incredible. $2,947 for first place. It's not too bad.
Not bloody bad. That's fold money. It's not bad for a weekend's work.
Really well done. I love the last two games, especially, guys. I mean, I thought Ascension was a really good game, but Bunny was so far behind. But the last two games, that's just beautiful TVP play by Bunny. And even on Battle of the Boardwalk, he's down in upgrades. He was down in workers a lot. After the DTs, he was down 20 SCVs. But he played so freaking fast, kept DNS so busy, forced so many warp-ins, that he eventually turned it into a relatively even game economically, and he just took the game from there. I mean, that's sick TVP. That's really something that I think a lot of tournaments can take a lot of inspiration from. And that doesn't mean, guys, there's not a problem with this matchup. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that was beautiful. Crucify him! I'm just saying that was beautiful by Bunny. Incredibly well done. What a run, guys. Like taking out Zero in the semifinals, Hero in the quarters, and now DNS in the grand final. I am very, very, very impressed with Bunny.
I'm just really happy that none of, like, honestly, even that game 4 or whatever it was, like, none of these matches really felt broken, though. Like, for me, this was a series where we had two players testing their skill more than the balance of the game, even though that was normally the balance is the front seat. It was kind of the back seat for this series, and that's what I really liked about this. Bunny and DNS, like, okay, Bunny won, but fuck, DNS played really good. Like, even in the games he lost, man. But
I really enjoyed it.
It's tough to argue that, you know, if anyone's sitting there going that grand final wasn't entertaining, they don't have eyes connected to their brains, or they don't understand what they're watching. Like, that was just a incredibly entertaining grand final. Well played to both players. Couldn't have asked for some of those games are just incredibly close, incredibly back and forth. Loved that game on Ascension Ire as well for DNS. Like, that was just beautiful. Bellissimo.
And speaking of beautiful, gotta give some love to the sponsors making all this possible, guys. This was a short term, like this, we do Ting Opens, it takes like 3 months. This was like done in less than a month, and I love the format. They wanted to be bold, they wanted to be different with this King of the Hill. I was really apprehensive about it. I told them, I'm like, I don't think this is gonna work, but it produced some really fucking fun games. Pardon my swearing there, I'm excited. Some really fun games. We got a huge prize, well, again, $7,215 at the time of speaking. This was great. This was an awesome tournament, and I absolutely hope we see more People Images in the future. Even if we're not the ones casting it, I hope we are. I hope we'll see more People Images tournaments in the future. So remember, guys, PeopleImages.com to check out the main sponsors of the event, because without them, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, I just want to add that real quick as well. I've spoken to the guy in the past, and he's just so passionate and so enthusiastic about StarCraft, and he really wanted to get involved, and he really wanted to make stuff happen. And even when, like, maybe, like, at first, like, we tried something, but I was so busy last year, it didn't work, he didn't give up, and he just kept on going. He's like, no, I really want to run this tournament. It's so freaking cool that we've got people in, like, successful positions all around the world that have their own life outside of StarCraft, but still love StarCraft that much that they desperately want to run the tournament in the game that we all enjoy and love. I think that's awesome. So massive shout out to People Images and all the people behind the company, because it was really fun to watch and fun to be part of.
Well, I'm trying to poke Bunny for a winner interview, by the way, guys.
Poke Bunny? What does he have to do with this?
Poke Bunny, yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
I'm old, Griff.
However, awkwardly enough, our translator might not actually be available. There was some confusion about whether we'd need her or not, so that might actually be on me, but I'm going to try and get a hold of Hajin if she's around, and I'd love to do an interview with Bunny, but his English, I know, is not good enough to do one without one.
Bunny, you give him a couple cheeky ones and he's good to go. He doesn't need a translator.
He suddenly remembers his English after a few cocktails.
Yeah. I've had great talks with that young man. He doesn't.
Well, I'll see what we can set up, guys. No promises, but we'll be back in a few minutes. So thank you for watching, and see you soon, either way. All right, folks, we have Bunny with us. It's a little bit mismangled here because we weren't really prepped and ready for this. I do need to explain really quick before we do this. Bunny we're gonna be typing our questions to him while we ask them. That way he can translate, like Google Translate type thing. His English is so-so, and he's willing to try for us. So that's really awesome. So welcome, Bunny. Congratulations.
Yeah,
GG's, man.
hello.
GG's.
This now live?
Yes, live now. Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you so much. I'm so happy.
That game, last game, so good. You know when you block stalkers with Supply Depot?
Black Stalkers. Last game.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
so
my
good.
sense. My sense?
Yeah, your sense equals God. So good.
I'm English
How do you-
is so hard.
It's okay. Here, easy question. DNS.
Yeah.
How do you feel about DNS? Scary? Good? Hard?
Wait.
Your opponent?
DNS patch before. I think patch balance patch before. But I think so Protoss.
Ooh.
Now so strong Protoss. Yeah. Understand?
Yeah. So you think now good. Now good.
Casual insults him like.
I like it. I'll take it.
He basically just said patch toss. Yes.
Yeah. In a very nice way.
Yeah.
Now Protoss very so hard, so strong.
All Protoss?
Yeah, everybody Protoss. So I think stats just same.
I would have. I have a question maybe for Bunny. Does he think that it's very map dependent? Because I think maybe on like Abyssal and Battle of the Boardwalk, I think Terran has a chance, but maybe like Ascension to Ire is like a lot harder. Or does he just think every map is super hard?
Yeah. So all map are so strong. Just Protoss.
All maps.
So,
But
Why
you
not
still
so
win.
Imba?
But you win.
Then, yeah, why you win? Why you win?
I'm well.
You're well?
Very
Yeah,
strong.
well.
Very
Yeah,
strong?
So
Oh, yeah. We saw that. We see.
Yeah, Bunny
Very
good.
good.
Bunny, what is so there's bio and then
Bio?
there's mech. Like you know
Yeah.
which is favorite? Which do you like?
I like very match. I like but not use match. I think need a patch. Understand?
I kind of. I think we get the gist of it because I like yesterday versus Serral. Very good games.
Sarah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Mechanical units, very good. Tank, Hellbats, but not versus Protoss, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
어렵다. So hard. English. I need a trans.
Yeah, are you typing these to him? Like, is he able to?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
I am.
Sorry, guys. Like I said, I
basically
can't
just typed-
see what he's typing.
Basically, like, the long and short was, like, do you think
Oh.
mech works against Protoss? Obviously, no. He says no. Even though he won that mech game, by the way, but...
All right, well, Bunny.
Maybe one
Yeah.
question quickly.
Okay.
Bunny, what do you think is a big problem of Protoss? Do you think Stalker is problem or Chrono Boost? Or what is the problem?
What do you think is wrong with Protoss?
Yeah. Like Stalker too strong or Chrono Boost too strong or
Stalker. Yeah.
just Stalker?
And Immortal?
Immortal?
Yeah. So and High Templar.
He's gonna go down the path.
He's just gonna
guys.
name everything. All
like the
Protoss equals problem.
Zealot,
Yeah.
Adept.
But,
Okay, Bunny.
but Immortal and High Templar didn't change, right? Oh, well.
Here's the
No.
most important question. Number one question. Okay, Bunny, you
Yeah.
win
Yeah.
Almost 3,000 US dollars.
Yeah. I know.
What do you do with the money?
What do you do with the money?
Will you spend it on parents?
Celebration.
On celebrate? Booze? Chicken? What to do with money?
Wait.
I'm
Bank.
excited to-
Bank go. Bank.
Oh, boring.
Yeah.
Boring
Ooh.
banking. No women, no gambling.
Saving.
Gambling, poker.
No, poker?
No poker.
No.
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 I like that reply.
No. Okay.
The laugh
No.
of a man who's guilty.
Just to the bank. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's just. I think he's just saying this for because he knows he's on camera
Yeah.
in front of a lot of people.
I mean, Christmas is expensive for everybody. Yeah, you
That
never
is
know.
true. That is true. That is true.
Well, Bunny, we
Yeah.
won't keep you. Thank you so much for coming on. Say hi to fans. Any big plans for next year? Like, will you join the team, GSL? What is next year?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we'll leave
Thank
it at
you
that.
so much. Sorry, I'm bad English. Sorry.
Oh,
No,
I'm studying
great.
English school.
so
sorry.
happy you try. Like, that is very good. Very good.
Yeah. Well, one question, guys, quickly. Bunny, GSL, what
Yeah.
is your goal? Quarterfinal, semifinal, maybe champion? GSL season 1, you.
Really?
Yeah. What do you hope for?
Hope. 당연히가 뭐지? Champion.
Yeah.
All
good.
the way?
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Good
right.
answer.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Of
Thank you very
course.
much. We'll see you
Yeah,
later.
thank you.
Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Prepare for the screen regions to just be fucked. We're just gonna end it on this one, guys, because this is gonna take forever to fix everything. So, Roddy, Maynard, thank you guys both for joining me here for these finals. This was a really fun cast. We got some really amazing games out of it. We'll start with you, Roddy. Any shout outs, any last words? People, where can they find you? All that good stuff.
No, just shout out to BaseTrade. You guys do amazing work. Hopefully you riff. You get a lot of flag, and every now and then you may deserve a tiny bit of it, but you do great things for StarCraft. And I really always enjoy watching and listening to you. And thank you for inviting me in this as well. I think I had a great time. So yeah, thank you. Thank you to May. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. And of course, shout out to PeopleImages and all the players that participated. I have nothing. I tried to watch as much as I could of the tourney. But obviously December is a busy month, you know, you're with family, it's kind of like off days, but I watched quite a bit and I really enjoyed it, so I hope for more.
Let me see if I can fix this here. Maynard's head's getting cut off for some reason. Maynard, how about you, man? Any final words, I guess, as we end the tournament here today?
It's just a real pleasure. Not always great to cast with Roddy, of course. We do, usually it's in person, but we did all right for an online cast as well, and it was a really good time. As always, my brother. Hope to see you soon. Rifkin, always a pleasure to cast with you as well, man. I've actually been really enjoying our casts together and how frequently we get to do them lately. Hopefully we get to do it a lot more in 2018. That'd be cool. And hope you guys enjoyed my commentary and my face and everything else. That's it. You can follow me at Twitch TV Maynard if you want to see more of that. But otherwise, just keep an eye on Base Trade. I'll be back eventually, hopefully.
Well, thank you guys both again for joining me. For those who watched today for the first time ever, I hope you've enjoyed it. Hit the follow button. This is officially the last cast of 2017. I don't know what we're going to be jumping into in January. I know for now, January 2nd will be the Corsair Cup Grand Finals that got rescheduled. Other than that, our schedule is actually totally up in the air. We're revising it and doing a lot of changes. GSL dates just got announced too, so we got a little bit of, I guess, behind the scenes planning and adminning we got to sort out, but other than that, January 2nd will be the next time we're live here on BaseTradeTV. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. You can follow me on Twitter at @Riff_Kings. Follow the channel if you want not shit posts and just updates. Follow BaseTradeTV on Twitter. Otherwise, again, thank you, everybody. We got some bits coming at the end. JD Jane, Terminator. You guys both gave us a lot of bits throughout the cast today, and a lot of people contributed, whether it's subbing or not. I'm sorry that we couldn't shout all of you out, but if you did sub, by the way, be sure to check your inboxes. In about an hour, you'll have replays from this finals delivered to your doorstep. But thanks again, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in the new year. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year, guys.